What's up, my friends in film fandom, wherever you may be and however you may be watching? Thank you so much for giving us just a little bit of your time. Plenty of stuff to go into tonight as I go ahead and turn the music down since it's getting kind of skippy. Anyway, that's really weird. That's a whole new thing to have happen. But anyway, here we are talking about all kinds of crazy stuff. And as you can see by the thumbnail, we got Ryan Reynolds. We have Clue. That's just the beginning. Here to talk about all that stuff with me today is eventually going to be Lady Cora. She'll be joining us here in just a little bit, but also joining me is my hetero life mate, Jeremy. What's up with you, brother?
Well, I'm glad you didn't answer me about trying to fix the technical things behind the scenes before we did this, because it kicked the little rocking intro. I was sitting there just bopping, and I'm like, I was trying to learn how to play Master of Puppets, and your shit kicked me out of it, asking me what the... Is this you trying to log in? Whatever. It's fine. I'll get there. I never had to actually learn guitar for a cosplay before, so that'll be cool. I'm going as Eddie Munson, by the way, if that didn't make sense to anybody. So, yeah.
I kind of figured.
Yeah. I think Brooding Gamer wants to do it too, and I made a deal with him. I was like, you know what? You could be Battle Eddie with the trash can lid shield and the baseball bat, and I'll just go as Guitar Eddie. It'd be pretty cool.
Nice.
Be some cool pictures, I'm sure, just back to back, like doing that, and like swinging the bat and shit. That'd be cool.
And joining us this week to go over all the cool news that we're going to be talking about is the Shape from the Lone Star State. My man Tex, what's up, brother?
Howdy, y'all. No, just hanging out, lots to talk about. And, one of y'all could go as Dead Eddie, like bitten by bats and stuff. That'd be a really interesting
I thought about that.
Yeah. That's what, there's probably going to be a lot of Eddie Munsons this Halloween season. So a dead one would really stand out. So, I mean, just cover yourself in bat bites and, you're there, put on a bandana and rock it,
It's on, Halloween's on that Monday, like, after cave season. I'm sure also I have plenty of makeup and crap I could use to, and whatever that little picture was, I saw someone made like a vampire Eddie because of the bats and shit. I was like, okay, that looks sweet. His eyes were like red and he had like fangs and shit.
Well, it's too bad we're not closer. Then I could be Vecna and I could do the whole thing, but
that'd be sweet. He thought about being like Hopper and Joyce, like him and his girlfriend, and then like me and 10 September are gonna do Chrissy and Eddie. I was like, do a whole group cosplay. It'd be fun.
Well, if you want to go as Hopper, just stop eating right now for the next 2 months. You'll be fine.
That's what Hopper. Russian Hopper after getting his ass whipped.
Problem is, I know Brooding Gamer tried to grow a mustache, and he said he couldn't do it. I'm like, just put a big fake. It'll still look right. It's all good.
There you go.
But popping on just in time to get her intro before we go into some breaking news is the Dowager Countess, Lady Cora. How are you tonight, ma'am?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, yes.
Good. I was having some audio issues. So hi.
That's all right. We're all here. We're all here
Yes.
just in time for a little bit of breaking news that popped off just maybe an hour or so ago. One of the things that's been going on at DC with all the shakeups is that they have been looking for someone to be the, quote, Kevin Feige of the DCEU. And if you believe this report from the Hollywood Reporter, they may be in talks with somebody to do just that. I'll read you directly from the article from THR.com. It says DC's Kevin Feige has been found, maybe. Producer Dan Lin is currently in talks to take control of the film and TV division for the superhero arm of Warner Brothers. Now, I'll go over a few things from the article. The executive turned producer, Dan Lin, who counts hits such as the live-action Aladdin, the Lego movie, and the It horror movies, is in talks to take the role of DC chief. Multiple sources have told THR. The role encompasses not just overseeing film, but television as well, with Lin reporting directly to Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav, the man who wields the axe. The structure bypasses 3 separate division heads: Warner Pictures Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdy, HBO and HBO Max chief Casey Bloys, and Warner Brothers TV chair Channing Dungey, and puts control of DC in the hands of one person. And this is exactly what has been needed for quite some time. It does go on to say that Walter Hamada, the current head of DC Films, would transition out of the role, which is not a big surprise. The rumors have abounded the last several months since Discovery bought Warner Brothers that he was going to be on the way out. He supposedly wanted to leave quite some time ago, but they asked him to stay and transition out of the role instead of just leaving for whatever that's worth, for whatever their reasons were. A Warner insider says that no negotiations are taking place and no official offer has been made, although the sources say that talks are discussing salary, reporting structure, and the future of Lynn's expansive production company, Rideback. He does have his own production company because every big name in Hollywood does these days. If any deal is close, it would cap off months of one of the most intense executive searches in recent memory, one that faced scrutiny by rival Hollywood producers and executives as well as DC fans. We all know why, because the axe of Zaslav has been swinging left and right. Zaslav has said he has been searching for Warner's own version of Kevin Feige, the famed Marvel executive who has steered the rival comic book company's movies and then later its TV portfolio into a multi-billion-dollar pop culture juggernaut. I'm not even sure that that's enough money to discuss it anymore. Let's see. It goes on to say that Lynn's name rose late in the game, but he has a champion in Warner advisor Alan Horn. What did I say? When I said that they got the right guy to build this damn thing, they went and got Alan Horn, who is one of the guys responsible for building the Marvel juggernaut. So if this guy says he might be the guy, I mean, I know I say all the time, in Feige we trust, but I'm not going to lie. If Alan Horn says this might be the guy, this might be the guy. I mean, I don't know. This could be a complete disaster. It could be an absolute dumpster fire. I don't know. But if this guy's picking him, it's got to mean something. It was during the latter's tenure that Lynn worked for Horn, starting as a junior executive and rising to senior vice president of production. He struck out on his own as a producer in 2008, but not before shepherding movies such as The Departed and 10,000 BC, movies that did very well at the box office and critically. He also oversaw the infamous and aborted Justice League feature that was to have been directed by George Miller. I've heard that movie was actually supposed to be wonderful. I've heard that script was amazing. I haven't been able to find it, but I've heard a lot about that.
I've read the script or what's leaked of it. It was pretty good. It was more akin to the 90s Justice League cartoon than anything. So, yeah.
It says Lynn is a respected producer known for his smarts and, in a town full of hype and egos, his willingness to find experts on the fields that are not his forte. He has worked on franchises, the Robert Downey Jr. starring Sherlock Holmes movies and 4 Lego movies, as well as the wildly successful two-part adaptation of Stephen King's It. His resume ranges from big offerings, such as billion-dollar grossing bright-colored Aladdin, to intimate dramas, such as the Oscar-nominated The Two Popes. He's coming off an early August release of Universal's Joe Coy comedy Easter Sunday, which I haven't seen, but I've heard kind of mixed reviews on. He also has TV experience, the key factor for the new position. Him and his company executive produced a Lethal Weapon show that aired for 3 seasons on Fox, and Walker, the reboot of Walker, Texas Ranger, that is getting ready to go into its 3rd season on CW this fall. He and his production company are in post-production on the ambitious big-budget live-action series take on Avatar: The Last Airbender for Netflix. And then it goes on to say some other stuff. If Lynn takes over, he will replace Hamada, who joined DC in 2018, a time when the brand was looking to reset after Justice League bombed in 2017. Hamada, who had a reputation as an amiable collaborator, kept a much lower profile than Marvel's Kevin Feige, who is very much the face of his franchise. Though rival Marvel Studios has a closely connected universe, DC under Hamada explored some stories that took place in separate universes, including the billion-dollar grossing Oscar-winning Joker 2019 and Matt Reeves' The Batman last year, which brought in $769.2 million globally. Both of those have sequels in the works. And of course, it also goes on to mention that Hamada built relationships with talent such as Marvel favorites James Gunn, who directed Suicide Squad and created the HBO Max spinoff Peacemaker, and has other projects in development at DC. It also goes on to mention that he did play a part in the whole thing with Ray Fisher and all that, even though Walter Hamada was not there when the movie was being made. Fisher claims that after the fact he had some role in it. I don't know if that's true or not, because I've never exactly heard what Fisher's comments or what his exact gripes ever were. We've talked about that in the past. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the bulk of it right now. There's probably going to be more that comes out over the course of the next week that we can talk about next week. But I don't know, Tex, what do you think about Lynn taking over the DCEU and being their Kevin Feige?
And I'm as hardcore of a DC fan as you're ever going to find. It's like we're in the dumpster fire for the last few years. So any change is a improvement at this point. So I don't know this guy personally, but I mean, I love the It films. The Lego movies were good. A couple of those things I kind of cringed about, like that Walker reboot, because there's no better than Walker, Texas Ranger. Never redo that show. That's a mistake. But, DC needs just flat out copy Marvel here. Just take the formula, redo, do it your own way, whatever. But, this is exciting news. I hope this pans out, and I hope it's good for the brand because, they need to blow it all up and rebuild at this point. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, this has been the goal, to try to draw everything back to center and to build it back out on more solid ground instead of just having shit kind of going everywhere. Jeremy, you heard me go through all the stuff in the article. What are some of your thoughts?
Well, kind of the same things that Tex said. Like, and I've said this before. Being a fan of DC is like being a Browns fan. You just I don't even sports, but that's the best analogy that I have.
It's a rebuilding year.
I know.
Well, there's hope for DC, so it's not exactly like
I know, but I'm saying it makes sense. Like when it's good, it's good. When it's not, we're just like, nah, okay, next. So at least maybe we're finally putting a foot down, a foot in the door, a foot somewhere, as it were, with this Zaslav axe. Which, I mean, if I play an RPG where I have an axe and I can name it, I'm going to call it that because that just sounds awesome. It kind of sounds awesome. So maybe if we actually get some sort of structure, and like he said too, if the structure has to be the formula that Marvel did, which as we all know worked out beautifully. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, try telling every Marvel fan that's up their own ass so much that they just won't let us do it because they're like, oh, you're just trying to copy us. You're just trying to be us. I'm like, no, we're trying to be DC, but there's, a correct way to do this. I don't know how else you want us to do it because what's been going on, like I said, has been a clusterfuck, and you still want to point and make fun of us for it. You're like, well, it's, kind of a damn if you do and damn if you don't. Like it's just a mess. And you're like, haha, you guys suck. And if we try to make something, the correct way, they're like, oh, you're just trying to be this. Like, you can't win. If you got to the starting and ending line first, I mean, that's all they're going to care about. But, I don't give a damn as long as it's going to be finally taken care of.
If anybody should be pissed, it should be Universal Studios. They had the first interconnected, MCU with the Universal Monsters almost 100 years ago. So Marvel's not the first people to do this, and they won't be the last. So just because they're doing it right now doesn't mean you have ownership. That's that allegiance.
Yeah, it's
so
a
there's
weird.
now going to be in Kevin Feige we trust, and in Zaslow we trust.
Yeah, it depends how good he does.
If I keep pitching merch ideas, I'm gonna draw him with that big axe, just like sitting over his shoulder. It's, what I mean.
With the head of Batwoman laying on the ground next to her bloody body.
No. Her severed head under his foot.
Or he's just sitting there holding her head up. You know what I mean? Somebody make some fan art, just like him holding her head up, like fucking. Like at the end of Freddy vs. Jason, like when he walks out of the fucking water with Freddy's head in his hand.
Or the movie Seven with her head in the box.
Just have Brad Pitt in the corner. What's in a box?
Well, there's so many ways you can do that.
I know, but I see it.
Well, Cora, do you have any comments on what I've read from that article and the possibility of DC finally having a Shepherd?
They're late to the party for getting their shit together. So, it's about time. And, maybe they'll... I'm not one to think that Marvel and DC have to, quote, compete, because I think there's enough content, enough dedicated fans for either side that they'll always have interest. And then there's people who have crossover who like both or some of each. And, if Marvel's model improves DC, fantastic. Power to them for being humble enough to go, it worked over there, so we're going to try it over here, not try to reinvent the wheel and be stupid about it and wait another 10 years to have more success. So kudos for the humility. There you go.
Why can't we all just get along?
Mm-hmm. And now wait for the time to come when DC and Marvel merge when somebody buys them both. That'll be a shit show, but
I don't know if I'd want
to. Oh, no. They did that in the comics already back in the 90s, so that already happened for Miss Cora. So.
Well, Tex said you never know, it could happen again. Let's hope not.
It reminds me of the whole like Xbox and PlayStation and I guess PC thing. It's like, why can't we all just get together and just have a good time? We're all here to do the same thing. We're all here to play video games. We're all here to watch these superheroes do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Although I hate cross-platforming, and fuck you for using your cheating PC hacks, but whatever, I don't care. Continue. You're the only ones who don't belong. I'm sorry. Whether you do it or not, it's different.
Yeah, but JSP said in the chat, he said, given Marvel's trajectory, DC just has to capitalize on good storytelling. That's all they have to do. Because look, I want Marvel and DC to both be very good, because that makes things better for me as a fan. That just means that I have 3 or 4 more really great movies to go see every year. And I'm totally fine with going and spending however much money to go see these movies if they're good. So ultimately, that's kind of what I want out of this. It's just I want DC to be successful so that I can selfishly have more great things to enjoy. But honestly, and it's been said before, if anybody's rooting for DC to get good, it's Marvel. Because that's going to drive more people to the box office to see, well, is this Marvel movie going to hit the same way that last DC movie hit? And then more people are going to see the next Avengers movie. More people are going to see the next Ant-Man because they want to compare the two.
Collectively are the comic book genre together. So if one succeeds, the other will inherently succeed as well. So I think it's good. Hopefully. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's all going to go hand in hand. But like I said, ultimately, if they're both successful, the big winners are us. We get to enjoy these great products. We get to go out there and buy the merch and let them have our money. We get to go out there and see these movies. We get to come on places like this and talk about them. That's going to be the important part. That's why I want to see them be successful. Because let's face it, Superman and Batman are the 2 best comic book characters ever. I mean,
of course,
the last 10 or 15 years, it's like, Iron Man and Captain America have been by far the most popular. Spider-Man has gotten more popular. But I mean, if you ask real hardcore people that have been comic book fans their entire life, they're going to tell you Superman and Batman they're the tits on a Ritz. They're the tops. They are the apex. Tits on a Ritz. It's something like
I've never heard that in my life, sir. What the fuck does it mean?
I remember it a long time. It just means it's very good.
Okay.
I have no idea where that comes from, but I just know it was kind of funny. I was reminded a long time ago.
I've heard tits on a cracker, but I mean,
if tits are involved, it's already good, no matter where they are. Just involved.
And then you put them on a Ritz cracker, which is buttery and good. That makes
which is good. Yeah.
I'm gonna call my brother after the show and go, have you ever heard this? What does it mean? And he's gonna go, no, we're not having this conversation. Anyways, sorry.
But yeah, I mean, there's going to be more coming about this over the course of the next week. So maybe by the time we take the air 7 days from now, it's going to be a done deal. We're going to have some kind of details to talk about. But I mean, that's been the big question again: is who's going to be the one who shepherds DC hopefully to a bright future? Is this the guy? He's got a decent enough pedigree. I like the 2 It movies. The sequel not nearly as much as the first one, but still both very good. He's been successful in a lot of their films. He's the big difference though between him and Kevin Feige, and this is what worries me, and this is where nobody was ever going to compare to Feige on this one particular part. Kevin Feige had a deep background on everything Marvel way before they decided to make the Iron Man movie. He had been around for all the Spider-Man films. He had been around for the X-Men films. He had been around for everything that Marvel had done. So this guy knew Marvel in and out before the MCU ever became a thing. There was nobody like that out there that existed on the DC side of things.
So you think he's just kind of going to have to be, written in and kind of just supplementing his repertoire of understanding as he goes, and it could be damaging to the content?
His mindset is just going to have to be different. He's going to have to, because it's like getting a job right out of high school compared to getting a job right out of college. You've had that college experience in a certain field, but when you get it right out of high school, you just had a general education. You still need to learn that field.
He's a crash course in DC movies and content.
Yeah, Feige went to Marvel College and he knows it inside and out. This guy's coming.
Do y'all watch the animated DC films that come out direct to DVD and Blu-ray?
I've seen some of the Batman ones.
Well, here in the last year or so, they completely rebooted because in their previous universe they were in, it was all connected and the story came to an end. And then they, about a year ago, maybe even a year and a half, they did the whole Flashpoint thing, wiped out the universe, and they redid the animation, different voices for the characters, everything else. And it's been kind of I don't want to say beloved, but people are enjoying it, and they're doing it simple. They started with like a Superman because he's the first superhero. Then they did I think it was Justice Society. Then they did a Batman: The Long Halloweens Parts 1 and 2,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all the same animation style. It's all in the same universe. So the format is there to do this, and DC does such good animation. I don't know why they can't get the live action down, but they know the playbook. They just got to copy what they've already done. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I agree. But obviously we care about what you guys think. So go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think about Lynn possibly taking over as the Kevin Feige or the head of DC's cinematic and television arm. That's been one of the big pieces of news we've all been waiting on. I hope it works out because I think it'll be great for all of us. But now on to our regular stories. And Lady Cora, what's our first story for the day?
Well, speaking of DC and Warner Brothers, Batgirl won't be flying onto HBO Max screens, but a select group of insiders is getting to see the film during secret screenings on the Warner Brothers lot this week. Multiple sources tell The Hollywood Reporter. They are said to be for people who worked on the movie, both cast and crew, as well as representatives and executives. One source describes them as, quote, funeral screenings, end quote, held before the film is sent off to an undisclosed afterlife with footage locked away in a vault, either physical or digital. On August 2nd, Batgirl became the most talked about film in the world when news broke that new Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav had opted to scrap the $90 million DC film in order to take a tax write-off. Frank, what do you think of the funeral screenings of Batgirl? And I have to ask you, do you think if another CEO comes in at some point, do you think he would take it off the shelf to make a big scene about making himself better than the last guy?
Well, I think eventually at least some of this footage is going to come out. That's my guess.
You think someone's recording this week?
I think it's ever going to get
on their iPhone?
No. I'm willing to bet that shit was some Secret Service level security to make sure that none of this got out. Yeah, this is a story that Tex put on my radar a few days ago, and I from the jump I found it hard to believe that they would just completely trash the footage. Because it's not a wise thing to do. I mean, because look, just because they're not releasing this movie, that it was killed by Zaslav, and they decided to take the tax write down, it doesn't mean they won't return back to this movie. Now, it's a shaky 1% chance at best, but I mean, it doesn't mean they're not going to do something with this in the future. What they're saying is right now, we don't like what this movie looked like. It didn't test well internally. There was a lot of problems with it. Maybe they're starting to see some things socially that are starting to shift a little bit. That's got them a little worried, but they were just like, you know what? We've already been dealing with some problems with the DC brand. Some of the movies have not done very well. A couple have, but largely people have been disappointed. We have to make sure that the next several movies are good, because Marvel's in a position to where if they throw out a stinker, it's not going to hurt them. If they throw out 2 stinkers, it probably won't hurt them. But if you throw out 3 or 4 in a row, Marvel might start to suffer a little bit. But we have confidence that's not going to happen with Marvel. It seems like at best every other DC film is a flop. Maybe not commercially, not money-wise. It makes money at the box office, but it's not well received. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people didn't like Batman vs. Superman. I mean, even Man of Steel, which has grown on me over the years, a lot of people just didn't really feel like it was a great superhero movie. So every movie that comes out that underperforms for them, people just look at it as a nail in their coffin. So yeah, I'm not surprised that they're keeping it. It's nice of them to put what is out there on screen and let the people who worked on it actually see the results of their hard work. That's nice. But I'm whatever. It's a funeral showing. It's not being deleted. It makes sense to me not to delete it because you want to have that stuff somewhere. But like I said, I think we're going to eventually see at least some clips and maybe even some more screen grabs. Because the one picture that I always see when somebody's putting a story out there is that one picture of her kind of standing there in profile against the brick wall. They didn't even release a lot of set pictures of this, with the exception of some stuff that came out probably 6 or 8 months ago when they started filming or doing some of the pre-production stuff and the construction. I just didn't even see a lot of set pics from this. There really wasn't anything that they had put out there. So I'm starting to wonder if anybody involved with making this was all that impressed with it, because if they were, they would have put all kinds of shit out there. I don't know, Jeremy. What do you think about them doing the funeral showings and kind of giving this thing a little bit of a send off for at least the cast and the crew?
Well, I mean, a send off, to who? Like some backrooms fucking bullshit. Some people we don't even know or even know exist. Some Men in Black type shit. Like, I mean, what does it really matter other than the fact that, like you said, it's not like this is just getting completely obliterated out of existence. I mean, it's not. I guess dead but not gone, I guess is the way to phrase it.
It's put into a coma, basically. It's there, but you can't interact with it.
You know what? They're gonna Captain America this thing. They're gonna put it on ice until the world needs it again.
Yes.
That's what.
Yeah, that's it. Or that Mel Gibson movie where he was in that time capsule for 50 years and lost in a warehouse and came back to life.
Oh yeah, Forever Young, is that the name of that movie?
Yeah, they forgot about him.
Oh, it's just I was thinking, wasn't that Sylvester Stallone in what's that damn movie? I was thinking of totally.
No, that was Demolition Man. That was Demolition.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Well, I don't know this whole Batgirl thing. I mean, this was a jumbled mess of continuity. You had Commissioner Gordon from the Snyderverse with Michael Keaton, with a daughter who's a complete other race of him. And like it was a jumbled mess. The only set leaks that I saw, they showed Batgirl in the suit. They showed Michael Keaton in the suit, and then they showed like this wall that was in Gotham, and somebody had graffitied a younger version of Robin, like the kid version, on this wall to basically let you know that Robin.
That was the image that I saw that it came out like months ago.
Right, and even when that picture came out, people were either super excited or like, these costumes look like crap. Even Keaton's suit looked bad. It looked like it's something you would buy at like a Party City or something. Wasn't the hard. It wasn't like the hard rubber suit that he had in the 90s. It looked like it, but it had the aesthetic of a modern suit, how they made it or whatever.
Did they not have much of a budget for the costumes or something?
Oh, they spent $90 million. You'd think they could have got two good costumes out of it. I mean, something.
It's not when he was younger. I mean, it's supposed to be him in that time period where he was older. But
this is like older Batman.
Yeah, I expect it to look a little different. I mean, I'm assuming he learned from past exploits. Maybe his suit looks a little different.
So it's probably made out of spandex and Spanx and, comfy sweatshirt, right?
Well,
and no nipples, I hope.
And obviously, you can't judge a superhero suit until the CGI is done. Because, like, if you go look at the Affleck Batman suit from the Flash movie that we may or may not ever see, it looks terrible because the CGI is not all done and everything else. It's a mix of practical and computer how they do these things. But just from the images that we saw, it looked like it was a low-rent fan film. I mean, it wasn't even that impressive. The Batgirl costume was ill-fitting. It didn't look good. I don't know what they were going for here. I don't know. I just wish they would do the same thing to Flash, get the Black Adam Shazams done and out of the way so we can reboot, get something good out of this. Just cancel it all. I don't even care.
At least the suit wasn't green or animated. At least it wasn't that.
Or he wasn't wearing pajamas, like with Batman, like his own merch.
Right.
I don't know. Sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Eventually, I think we're probably going to end up seeing at least some clips, some little bits of things. I don't imagine it'll ever be released in its full form. I know Mr. Marvel.
It's going to leak eventually.
Did you
saying,
ever...
Saying, are they doing it thinking it'll become another Snyder release? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to make that. Honestly, I'm really shocked they ever put the Snyder cut out of Justice League. As much as I liked it a lot more than the original theatrical version, I'm really surprised they put that kind of money into it. If they were willing to throw away $90 million, actually, ultimately, they're taking a $20 million write down in their taxes. So it's going to end up costing them $70 million to put this thing in a vault somewhere. So if they're willing to throw away $70 million,
you're forgetting the money they're saving on not promoting it too.
That too. But if they're willing to throw this money away, do you really think that they're going to put another $70 or $80 million into this to go back and reshoot stuff a couple of years down the line and bring back Michael Keaton, bring back the girl I forget was starring as Batgirl, and all the other actors. Oh hell, Brendan Fraser was supposed to be the bad guy in this movie. You're going to bring him back too. I mean, it's like, are you really going to put that much money into going back and redoing this thing that you said was just bad quality anyway? Right. I don't know. I don't think it'll become another Snyder release thing.
Did you ever hear about that episode? Sorry, Tex.
Oh, you're fine. Go ahead.
The episode of Sesame Street with the Wicked Witch from the West in character around the 70s or 80s that scared so many kids in the test audience they scrapped it and never aired it, but everybody knew about it, right? And there were a few shots that came out like photographs, and there was this mission for decades to get this released, and finally Sesame Street, like 30 years later, released it at like a I don't know, some type of convention or something. And it was just like this big deal that it was just like released. I could see, like you were saying, some years from now, them maybe not releasing it in studio form, but like at South by Southwest or Sundance or something, or like one of these Comic-Cons, like only the people in the room on this panel will get to watch a Batgirl from 20 years ago that was never released. And it being this big, like thing about it. And yeah.
It's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be like the Nicolas Cage Superman Lives film that was obviously never made, and they made a documentary about it 20 years later, or it's going to be like the Roger Corman produced Fantastic Four film that was so god awful it didn't get made either. And that one eventually leaked, I believe. I don't know if the whole thing was done, but I know parts of it leaked out. So it's going to be another one of those. That's just what it's going to be. I mean, it's at some point. Now, I did read articles that said that Warner Brothers may actually delete it to prove to the IRS, but you never know with these sources who to believe and who not to.
I don't know the IRS is going to care as long as you're not releasing it. They're not
I can see where they're coming from. They're saying, "Oh, well, we'll just put it in the vault and never play it." And then 10 years from now or 5 years, it accidentally gets out, and they still got the tax break for it. So if they have to delete it to get the money, I don't know. I could see them doing it, but odds are it's going to end up in a vault and it'll leak online somewhere. Somebody's going to get in there and find it. But my biggest question is, even the directors, I watched an interview yesterday where they were saying they did very minimal of the VFX and everything else. So how much of this is actually done for them to show when they do this funeral screening or whatever? I mean,
well, for a funeral audience, don't you think they could handle like the blocks where it might be green screen or,
Right. I mean, well, that's what I'm saying. It's not going to look like a finished film you go to the theater to. It's going to be a working print at best.
Well, there might not even be a musical score for all we know. It could just look like a theatrical play of some sort where they're just talking. So,
I don't know. Either way, kill it and let's get good DC movies.
There are some legal ways to where they can take this right down and still release the movie at some point in the future. And even if they wanted to finish it and release it at some point in the future, there are legal remedies to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It would involve dealing with the IRS and making sure that some money is paid back and some things need to be done. I mean, they can. It's just highly unlikely. It's like, look, because remember, he didn't say that he killed the movie because of money. He said he killed the movie because the movie was bad.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's the big difference between this movie and The Flash. Is you've got all the Ezra Miller stuff that we've talked about ad nauseum on here, but all reports are that The Flash is a good movie, and not only is it a good movie, one that he doesn't think is going to hurt the DC brand. It's also a movie that, from what we've heard, is integral to the future of the DCEU. It's going to establish what happens in the future. So, I mean, so there that movie's got two things going for it that this movie did not. A, it was not important to the future of the DCEU. It was kind of its own standalone weird project anyway. Remember, this thing was originally just going to be made for HBO Max. They weren't even going to be putting it theatrical. And then they were like, okay, we're going to put it theatrical. And it's like, okay, no, we're going back to HBO Max because probably because they think it's not going to make a whole lot of money in the theaters. We'll talk about how that can affect the movie here in a little bit. But The Flash has been exactly the opposite. It's important to the future of the franchise, and it's good, whereas this was neither one of those things. So it wasn't really about saving money. If it was about saving money, they wouldn't throw away $90 million. I mean, we're not talking about it. We're not talking about an independent film that costs, you know, a couple $100,000 to make, and he's like, we're just going to throw that pocket change away. No, this is a $90 million. They're writing down $20 million of it, and they're eating $70 million of it. So this is $90 million that they spent, and they're not getting anything for it. So you don't do that unless you think the movie's bad. So I think it's really unlikely if this was, with the exception of a few clips here and there, maybe some cell phone video that was taken by some production assistant or maybe one of the directors themselves, that this is never going to see the light of day. Because that's what he's worried about, that the product was just bad. I mean, if you're McDonald's, do you want to send out one rotten hamburger out of the 400 million you send out every day? No, because it hurts your brand.
All I'm going to say is hot coffee burns. Everybody knows that about McDonald's. Yeah. The bad experience stands out.
Yeah, well, I was going to say they willingly and lovingly put out McRibs every once in a while, so they know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. They're like,
not really
they put out that nasty shit on purpose.
Beef meat that's shaped like ribs.
It's not even.
They sell that stuff at Kroger's, for crying out loud. JTM rib patties. Everybody freaks out, but it's just a JTM rib patty, for crying out loud. But yeah, so go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think. Do you guys think that Batman, any of Batgirl will ever see the light of day? Yeah.
I just had a thought. They're not released the movie, but I'll guarantee you in 6 months, if they're making a Winnie the Pooh horror movie, somebody's going to make a porn version of what they think the Batgirl movie was.
It's probably already made.
Probably already exists somewhere.
It's seriously to say,
it's already
if you go to the right websites, I'm sure it's out there somewhere. So very hard.
Trust me, I don't think I don't remember which two Pokemon games came out. It was like a year or two ago. I don't think they were even like out at all. Like I think just maybe the starters were released or something. There was already porn of it. I'm like, first of all, how? Wow. You don't know what any of them look like.
Pokemon porn?
That is,
dude.
I don't know anything about Pokemon, but that sounds disturbing.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Gamer, by the way, shout out to you. I saw you got a new Pokemon pop figure on Twitter today.
Huh?
Yeah. Brooding Gamer put something on Twitter about he got a new Pokemon pop figure.
Oh yeah. There you go. You're talking about me. I was like, no.
No, Alan. Sorry.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if I have any. Right. No, I'm just saying if it's that's the what was it 34 the rule 34 of the internet. If you can think of it, there's already porn of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Trust me. Yes.
The unreleased Batgirl movie, and then you start watching it and you're like, wait, this is not.
I think I downloaded the wrong movie. Damn it.
That's you look at it and be like, wait a minute. I thought she was Jim Gordon's daughter.
Like, wow, anyway. This was a bad movie. What the fuck is going on? Oh, wait. This is what they want to scrap? There's a story. There is a story here. Hold on. I'm watching for the story. God, I hope she gets that sink fixed. Gotham's in trouble.
Sink? I don't even know what that means, but okay.
Don't dirty yourself by even finding out what he's talking about.
You see from a child.
I think we know what kind of porn Jeremy likes. I think he just played his cards here and revealed himself. I think he just outed himself.
I didn't play a single. No.
Something we learned about Jeremy today.
Anyway.
That's just a meme at this point. You already know. You are all you two are laughing because you know exactly what I was talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about, so I'm not laughing. Okay, all right.
Okay. Because you're a much purer soul than I
know.
That's for sure.
I have never watched any of that. I'm a pure, good-hearted man. I've never seen. I've never seen no naked pictures. What are you talking about? Good.
There's a lot of home projects.
Your Puritan text. That's good to know.
You're so full of shit.
I just know what my story. I'm sticking to it. But
do they make pop figures of porn stars, Jeremy?
Huh?
Do they make pop figures of porn stars? Is that a thing yet?
No, unless they actually do like. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is like Sasha Grey. I'm like, because she makes actual movies. So unless they make something out of something she's done.
Well, the culturally, we haven't spiraled too far yet. Then when they start making those, then we know the world's.
It's probably already a thing, is what I'm saying. So
even in the '90s, they had action figures of Jenna Jameson, so they probably do.
That.
So.
Oh boy.
What you got?
Also, if you guys aren't watching the comments, my mom's watching, so watch your fucking mouth.
Sorry,
Hi, Jeremy's mom.
Sorry, BJ.
We'll be good, and we're sorry.
Sorry.
Well,
we'll
keep
try
these
anyway.
people in line.
We'll try. But go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think about the potential for any Batgirl footage to one day hit the light of day. I think it's probably going to be unlikely, but hey, stranger things have happened. But before we move on to the next story, I do want to remind you guys real quick that there will not be, at least this week anyway, a breakdown of She-Hulk episode 2 on this stream. That's going to be coming later tonight. I'll be getting together with Connor from the Horny Goat, and we'll be talking about his thoughts on episode 1 and the events of episode 2. We'll be doing that after the main show tonight, so probably about 11:30-ish our time is when I've got the stream set up for that. So if you want to hear us talk about She-Hulk, you can come check it out later on tonight. Also, don't forget, we do have a giveaway we'll be doing tonight. I have finally figured out how to easily set it up while we're using this particular broadcasting service. So we'll be doing a giveaway for our patrons tonight. You guys can find the link to the Patreon in the description below. If you support us for just $5 a month, you get entered a chance to win $25 to the theater of your choice to go see movies. Whatever movie you want. Again, we do this not to help boost the box office, but just to get people going back out to the theaters. The theaters are alive again. Movies are coming out again. It's fantastic. And I want you guys to go enjoy the movie theater experience while supporting all these people that work the movie theaters that were just so badly affected by the pandemic closures for the last couple of years. So let's get back out to the theaters, and hopefully we'll promote you guys to do that by becoming a patron for just $5 a month. So, Lady Cora, what is our next topic tonight?
Well, something I don't even like reading, but I will. A spin-off of the 1986 John Hughes film Ferris Bueller's Day Off is in the works at Paramount Pictures. Sam and Victor's Day Off will follow the same-day adventure of the titular valets who took the Ferrari on a joyride in the Matthew Broderick classic, which was released in 1986. In the original film, the valet attendants were not given official names. They were played by Richard Edson and Larry Flash Jenkins, who died in 2019. Tex, are you excited about the Ferris Bueller spinoff?
I guess. I'm sure. Why the hell not? Everything else has been rebooted or sequeled, or I mean, why the hell not at this point? I mean, these guys didn't even have a name, but they get their own deal. Like this, that's what I love. I love Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right? Like great classic film. Who hasn't seen it, right? But I don't think this needs anything more. It's like, what are you going to add to it? I mean, will I watch it? Probably not. I mean, it's nostalgia for nostalgia's sake, I guess. I mean, we're redoing everything else, so throw in Ferris Bueller. Why the hell not? I mean, I don't know.
Jeremy, what do you think? Do you think it's worth having a spin-off series of these two characters?
No.
So
remember, he's
no.
pro 90s and you're pro 80s. This is an 80s movie. He can't pretend to like it without, disrespecting the 90s.
No. I love this movie too, but it doesn't.
Oh, this is the exception. Got it.
Okay. He keeps saying the 80s are great. They are great. There are plenty of movies, plenty of shows.
Look, I think the 80s.
I'm not disregarding it. However,
I love this.
You need to quit saying the 90s didn't have anything good. That's where I'm at. I love Ferris Bueller. I love Back to the Future. I love Star Wars. I love Indiana Jones. I love Spaceballs. I'll sit here and love everything from the 80s that I love. Hell, probably half of it's back here. However, this does not need. That's what I'm saying. I know we keep saying, well, if this sucks, we have the original. It's true, but I had this, and I guess this does kind of go in tandem with my fucking sign today, which I'm sure people have been watching if you didn't care, but I keep pointing it out, but this is where I'm going. I had this thought, I think today or yesterday. I'm kind of like, the only thing we're doing right now is either rebooting, reanimating, reestablishing. Yeah, that's all we're doing, or just getting spinoffs to something that, like, I don't say no one cares, but like no one needed or even asked for. It just kind of like this. Like, you don't know who those two guys are, but like you're gonna ruin the mythos of who it is. Like, you don't need to explain it. I don't need a whole.
Do we know?
What?
do we know if this is happening at the same time as the original film, or is it 20 years or 30 years later? I mean, are there any details about it?
I imagine maybe it's something to do with what they did in the movie, but
actually, this entire series will be, and let me pull up my notes.
How do you make a whole series out of it? Like
this, whatever this is, this series, however many episodes it's going to be. Let me see. Let's see. Additionally, production.
2 hours max is all it's going to get in my fucking attention.
It's not even to get 2
Just
seconds
saying.
of my fucking. I'm not.
I'd rather watch this than Winnie the Pooh horror. I'll say that.
Sam and Victor's Day Off. This is directly from the article at Deadline, and this article is linked in the description below, so you guys can go read this for yourself. But second paragraph, it says Sam and Victor's Day Off will follow the same day adventure of the titular valets who took the Ferrari on a joyride in the Matthew Broderick film. So I'm guessing this entire series is going to be what happened when they had the Ferrari out and were driving around while Ferris and his friends were doing all their stuff in Chicago on that day. So, I'm like, they went for a drive around Chicago. Do I really need a series that shows them going for a drive around Chicago?
Maybe they picked up a hooker. Maybe they went and played golf.
I don't need to know about I don't need to know about their whole day. Like I said, I swear to God, watch something and then be like, who is the person or persons that you would least likely think? Give them a fucking spinoff, and it's like, that's what's going to happen. Again, I did not fucking expect, for some fucking reason, that we needed to have a Peacemaker show. Out of all those people in the Suicide Squad, I was not ready for, that's where we were going. Hello?
What about
I got whiplash from that left turn you just took right there.
What about the waiter who caught the snail in Pretty Woman? Does he need a spinoff about what he does at the restaurant all fucking day?
Yes.
True.
Did any of y'all happen to catch this South Park special Streaming Wars? It came out recently.
Oh,
well, part of that,
like
this story, well, Streaming Wars, it's a spoof on all the streaming services we have nowadays. And like, basically, they're kind of making fun of how everybody and their dog has a streaming service these days. And they're just making content to fill it up, whether it's good or not. Because that's all a show like this. They have
a large library and not just
It's just it's quantity over quality. Nobody asked for this. Nobody wants this. I mean,
but they do know how many people watch it. That's the thing, is whether or not they want to keep doing it.
Right?
Like they'll know how many people watch it.
It's just a way to spoon feed you more content on Paramount Plus or HBO Max, whichever service this comes out on, to just speed and feed you new content.
Did you see the news about HBO actually taking content off? Like, they were cutting back.
Yeah.
So there are some who are cutting back based on interest.
Well,
but
it's because the man, as Jeremy and Frank refer to him, the man with the X, David Zasloff, is the only one who's like, hey, let's trim this back a little bit, maybe put out good stuff, not just everything. I mean, a lot of
that stuff they're pulling off is because it's not getting a lot of views. The stuff they're pulling off is stuff that nobody's watching, and two, when it's up there, you have to pay residuals for having it on your platform. So by not having it on there, they don't have to pay residuals to the production company for just having it on the streaming service. So no, it's not to say that you're not going to find those things elsewhere. It's not even to say they're not going to show it back on HBO Max. But that's a big time financial decision that they made.
I'm just saying, where I was going was, my thought was, I'm like, you know what? I don't know what's been going on. I'm trying to remember. I don't want to say it was as far back as I can remember, at least. I think when they said they were making an Anchorman 2, it was like 2014 or something. I was kind of like, why?
Something like that.
I think that might have been one of the first instances of this trend ever since then, where I'm just like, okay, but why? Why do we need?
I Love Lamp.
See, the first one's
the first
amazing.
movie, not the second one.
I know, that's amazing. I don't know why it just annoyed me too when they had to, like, I think what was the thing they did? They like wrote, or they told you, like, hey, we had exactly this many jokes in the movie. I'm like, I don't care. I don't know why you counted. What the fuck? Why do you have to tell me that? Like, I don't give a damn. I don't know. You made a movie that was like, what, it was like 10 years after the first one. I'm like, okay. And then, like I said, now we felt, and I've just been annoyed ever since, that we've been down this road the last 15 some fucking years or whatever of just doing that. We're just, going back, and I always call it, like I said, I call them the 30-year sequels. I'm like, why do we keep doing this? I'm like, eventually now you're going to be in a corner where now you have nothing else that you fucking picked apart now. And I'm like, now where are we going to go? Like, just make original shit. You have creative minds that make original shit. That's, like I said, that's why, I don't know, I'm getting so flustered. I don't remember his fucking name now. Nolan. Like Christopher Nolan. He makes shit that's like original. And it's interesting. That's why I like him so much. And the fact that he does shit practical, which is wild to me. However, you can do it and it's there. Like, you don't have to just keep playing on all these things that came out 30, 40 years ago that were good. And then, I don't know, you don't need to stuff it. Not like these streaming services. You don't have to stuff this world you've made with this movie with more stuff that no one really asked for. I don't
know, but the idea that Cora had about the guy that caught the snail, I can't wait to see his 2 or 3 year season run on Netflix. That's going to be incredible TV.
Somebody watches this video like in a year and they're like, wait a minute, that girl had a good idea.
And if that happens to get made, I expect Cora and all of us to get residuals because we were here when she had the idea. We better get some money, whoever makes that, by the way.
Look, and all this completely overlooks the fact that they're not giving us the one thing that we've wanted for like the last 20 or 30 years. And that's a straight up sequel to Ferris Bueller. I mean, they've been teasing this
Matthew
for so
Broderick
long.
doesn't want to do it, don't you think? I mean...
Well, I mean, I don't think he's ever said that he doesn't want to do it. I know that there was one point... Is the principal guy
still alive? Because Jennifer Grey, isn't she still alive?
Jennifer Grey is still alive.
Jeffrey
Jones is still alive.
You gotta play Cameron's still around.
Yeah, he's still around.
Matthew Broderick's kind of gone into obscurity a little bit, focused on family.
Well,
he doesn't do much.
I think he would come out for this. Because remember, if you ever made a straight up sequel to Ferris Bueller, it wouldn't be a Marvel level movie. It wouldn't be $250 million in like 6 or 8 months of really intense filming. It's something you could film in about 3 or 4 weeks in Chicago during the spring. Right. I mean, it wouldn't be a hard shoot, and look, and the fact that it's been a bajillion years since the original film came out is you have a kind of a worked in idea of Ferris and his friend Cam and his we would assume that they would be married at this point. Sloane, his wife, that they're in their 40s and they're working and they're like, you know what, we haven't done in a while. We haven't just taken a day off to go do whatever. And then Ferris cooks up this idea. It's like, hey, remember that one day we had all that fun in 1986? Let's do that again. And it becomes a big thing. And Cameron's neurosis is out there again as part of the comedy. It's like that writes itself into what you could do with this movie. And nobody's ever really put it forward. Now, part of it actually is that John Hughes passed away. John Hughes, as wonderful as a director he was, as many great coming-of-age stories as he told, it's really hard to just do what he did.
Well, maybe when they clean out his closets after he passed away, they'll find the undiscovered Ferris Bueller 2 manuscript.
I'm sure they found 30 or 40 manuscripts in his closet. They probably are still there, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't see why you don't just give us the real thing. Give us a real. You can't tell me that they wouldn't all three come back. Look, this movie would take $20 million to make. If you put this, I mean, look at what Top Gun has done.
Right.
Yeah, Top Gun just hit we both watched it last night.
Top Gun just hit $1.4 billion at the worldwide box office.
That's awesome.
At 1 and it's not really slowing. I mean, it's slowed obviously from its opening weekend, but it's still putting up numbers.
A bunch of people bought it last night because it was released on Tuesday.
That doesn't go into the box office numbers though.
It doesn't.
But no, it doesn't. Okay. It doesn't go. It goes towards profitability for the studios, but it doesn't go to the actual box office numbers.
I paid $20 for it.
But it's a good movie. It's a great movie. It's wildly entertaining. Great. And that's why it's made $1.4 billion. You can't tell me you couldn't make this movie for $20 million. Dude, all it would need to make is a couple $100 million at the box office to be a
they don't even need a
mind-blowing success.
Just have them all go on a vacation to a lake and hang out for a weekend and film them getting drunk, doing stupid shit in a boat. Well, I don't know.
Did any of y'all watch the sequel to National Lampoon Vacation with the guy from The Hangover playing Rusty?
No.
Oh yeah, that was horrible. It was not good.
I'm not sure a Ferris Bueller 2. I think it would. I mean, because I think it would be very similar to that. Totally yes, but I mean, in the way of a big property from the 80s that wasn't a superhero or a horror film that you're bringing back to revive. Yeah, it's going to get you money. $200 million worth, possibly that's doable. But, you know, I mean, it's only going to hit the older market. You know, you're not going to get like, oh, well, let's just go to the movies and see what's there. I don't know how much. I don't know.
Well, maybe we'll at least get one of those Home Alone jobs. Because remember, Macaulay Culkin did that thing promoting Amazon Prime or something where he reprised his role.
Oh, yeah.
As Kevin for a 3-minute clip.
Yeah, but let's talk about Home Alone 3 that did not have him in it at all. That was.
But that's the thing. Matthew Broderick has done commercials where he's had like the Ferris Bueller persona to sell cars.
That's true.
Wasn't that a Super Bowl commercial? I think that was.
It was like when they had Cameron, his dad's car was in the garage or some shit, and they're like, "Ooh, yeah." I'm like, "Damn it!"
And a lot of people thought when that commercial came out, they were like, "That's him teasing us, telling us that it's coming."
No.
And then a lot of people were like, "In the next year, we're going to get an announcement of a Ferris Bueller sequel," and that was like what, fucking 8-9 years ago. It's like I don't know. Let's go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think. Are you guys at all interested in watching these two valets drive around for a few hours in that stolen Ferrari? There's no interest in this. Now, tell you what, here's the only thing that this thing has going for it is it's being worked on by the creative guys that are running Cobra Kai. And I love Cobra Kai.
Okay. That's a good show.
So that's the only thing about this that gives me even the slightest bit of interest. But again, it's like, what do you do with it? Well, there was two things. I mean, it's like the Karate Kid franchise had a lot going for it. I mean, yeah, it had been a long time, but it's like these characters are still endearing. But it's like, do you really take these two obscure characters that didn't even have a name in the one movie and try to build something around them? It's like, come on. They were fun fodder for the film in 1986 when it came out. They're not good to build an entire thing around. And to top it off, one of them's passed away, unfortunately. So,
well, we'll create a new market for Halloween costumes dressed as valets in red vests.
Yeah, but who the hell dresses a valet for Halloween?
Yeah, I can't wait to see Spirit Halloween with the Ferris Bueller section. That's definitely
Yoda. You dress as Yoda. You dress as Freddy Krueger. You dress as Santa Claus. Who the fuck knows? But I mean, you don't dress as a valet.
Totally being sarcastic.
You dress as like Santa Claus for Halloween.
What are you? I'm the valet from fucking Ferris Bueller. They're gonna be like, what? Like, that stupid ass costume is in a costume candy. I would reach in the bag and take a handful. Screw you, get off my front porch. But I don't know. Go down in the comments below. Let us know if you guys are at all interested in a Ferris Bueller spinoff following the valets. I can't imagine any of you would be. If you are, more power to you. But personally, I think it'd be a gigantic place. Lady Cora, what's the next story we'll be going into tonight?
Well, speaking of making movies about movies that have already been made, Ryan Gosling is in negotiations to join Margot Robbie in the Ocean's 11 reboot for Warner Brothers. The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed this. The new Ocean's movie will be helmed by Jay Roach, with Robbie producing with Tom Ackerley and Michelle Graham. Details on the script are being kept under wraps, but it is known to be an original Ocean's 11 tale that is set in Europe in the 1960s. The only good thing about this is Ryan Gosling looks really good in a white tuxedo, so let's hope. Jeremy, are you interested in an Ocean's prequel?
Hey, Margot Robbie looks damn fine right there. Don't you dare discredit her.
Hey,
you look at her, I'll look at him.
I'll look at Ryan. Hey, he's a good-looking man.
Oh, white tuxedo? Oh.
He could rock it. I could see it.
Yeah, he does.
So, I didn't realize this whole fucking show is gonna just be remakes.
That's Hollywood right now, Jeremy. It's
I
not
know,
this
but
show.
that's what I'm saying. Is I'm now waiting for the end of that damn tunnel when we're like, okay, we have scraped every fucking barrel we can. Now what the fuck do we do? I'm like, great.
It's gonna be a while.
It might
50,
be, but like
when you're 50, or the next Harry Potter book series comes out, it's completely original.
Telling them
you know, let's be honest. The last time something really big and original that came out was the Harry Potter movies, based on books.
I guess.
I'm talking like box office big. But anyways, back to this shit. Sorry, Frank. I don't know.
No, Frank's busy trying to shit talk me in the chat. Fuck you.
The Ocean's 11, I mean, if it's a prequel set in the 60s, it might be pretty good if they tie in one of the older characters, like say it's Danny's grandfather or something. I don't know, maybe.
Hey, Frank's and I are talking about stepmom shit. Like, let's just pause for a second. I grew up my formula. I realized this the other day. I was like, in my formative years, we had Stacy's mom, and we had fucking what's Stifler's mom. So you can't blame me for how the fuck I am. Now that we've gotten that off.
Hang on, wait. Are you going with the excuse of movies and television made me do it? That's what people did for video games for like 20 years. Is that what you're going for here?
I'm just saying the influence was there. Everyone of my age grew up with Stifler's mom. So if that doesn't,
yes, I get the reference. Yes, I understand.
I know.
I didn't know what a MILF was until I saw that movie.
I think that movie is what made that term popular.
That's what
I think so.
There she is. That's her.
I hadn't even heard of it.
That is what it is. Damn it.
And I was like,
she is the OG
young adult.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway, now that we're done talking about that. So is this supposed? All right, hold on. So this is supposed to be.
It's supposed to be a prequel to the Ocean's 11's movie set in the 60s in Europe.
In the 60s. No. Now is this supposed to be a prequel of the original one, like with Frank Sinatra and all them?
That's my question.
Everybody ignores that. Everybody ignores that. I think this is just going to be.
You shouldn't ignore that. That's.
Hey, I'm with you. The original, they burned the money in the end in a coffin. Fucking epic ending.
It's it's literally a fire fucking movie. It's awesome.
It's old.
You got the Rat Pack in there doing their thing. It's a good movie.
It is. It's fantastic. Better than, I mean, I like the Ocean's movies with George Clooney and all them. I love Bernie Mac's characters in it. He's fucking hilarious. And
that movie kind of worked. Those were kind of like the guys of like that time. It's the same as like when it was back in the 60s. Like those were the cool guys in Hollywood. It's like same with the ones like in the late 90s, early 2000s when they remade them.
But all you gotta pick is Rusty or Danny and have their grandfather or dad be the one who's like the main character in this movie, and it works.
I guess, but also why are we? I don't know. What need is this supposed? Again, it's like I think Frank even said like that's what I'm wondering if this is supposed to be a prequel to the original one. Is it like setting it up? And also, I'm surprised we didn't call it Ocean's 10.
Well, we can't because there's Ocean's 8 with the girls.
Nobody
Sandra
cares
Bullock, Danny's
I thought
sister.
that was just supposed to be a joke that it was all women instead of just
That's like Ghostbusters 2016. We just forget that one exists. We just move forward.
I actually liked that.
I liked it. I'll be honest. So
I didn't think it was going to be as bad as the Ghostbusters thing.
And because they introduced her character in that movie, and that Danny exists in the trilogy, maybe their parents are somehow tied to this prequel.
Yeah, but that shrinks the world, though.
You think so? You think it should be completely independent of all the characters in all the Ocean's movies that have made?
Well, if there is a connection to be made between this particular film and the rest of the Ocean's movies, I think it would be interesting to have that connection be her father from the one movie, the fucking, what they call him? What's his damn name? Why am I drawing a blank?
I don't know.
Fuck. Rusty's girlfriend, the one who works for Interpol. Her dad is this huge, world-renowned international thief.
LeBlanc or LeQ or something.
Yeah, Lamont. Lamont was his name.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thanks for getting me there. But it would be interesting because it feels like that maybe a younger version of Lamont would actually make sense doing some work back in the 60s, and that would be who Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling are dealing with throughout the course of the movie, either going against him somehow or maybe working for or with him somehow. I think that would be fun. Yeah,
because he was supposed to be a caper that was like, he had a career, 30 years? 40 years and when Ocean's 11 started?
Yeah,
so it would be very believable.
That could be some connective tissue. But I do think it's very interesting that they want to set this in Europe, not in the United States, but in roughly the same time period that the original film took place with the Rat Pack, with Sinatra and all these guys. Which is actually a very fun movie to watch if you guys haven't seen it. The original Ocean's 11 is very good. I mean, it's Sinatra.
Well, As long as I can get Margot Robbie in like a timepiece with the go-go boots, you've got my money. That's all you need to sell me.
You just said Margot Robbie and I was in.
But right, yeah. I mean, Margot,
Quinn,
she
right
could
there.
be reading the phone book, and I would pay to go see it. I love me some Margot Robbie. Well, why do you think I watched that god-awful second Harley Quinn movie? Because Margot Robbie was in it. The movie was hot garbage, but, you know, she's easy on the eyes. So you put her in a film, I'll probably watch it. So, what you gonna do?
Well, the first Ocean's movie, Ocean's 11, the one with Clooney and all them, made $450 million worldwide. That's not a bad chunk of change.
No.
And it's not exactly a special effects heavy movie. It really just is a lot of location stuff. So that movie probably didn't cost a lot. I don't know exactly how much it cost, but it probably didn't cost a whole lot to make. So 450 is probably a decent amount of profitability. And it did turn into kind of an unexpected franchise because all the movies after that probably made a decent amount of money too. And the Ocean's 8 movie that came out in 2018, I'm pretty sure that actually made a decent chunk of change. It wasn't blowing the doors off the theaters or anything, but I'm pretty sure it made money. So, I mean, why not give this a go? I mean, I'm always apprehensive of prequels, but I mean, if you want this to be kind of its own standalone thing, why not?
I mean, hey,
I don't want to connect it too much to the Ocean stuff that we know, though.
That Orphan prequel that just came out was actually pretty damn good. So
that was good. Holy crap!
Good.
I saw that. Holy cow! That was amazing. I enjoyed that. That was a good one. Yeah,
I recommend that movie. That was
especially
I watched them like right back to back from each other. We watched the first one and went right to the theater literally and went to see the prequel, and I was like, God damn.
Yeah, that one kicks ass. Go see Orphan First Kill. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
I'll check that one out. I need to get more of the horror stuff. It's that time of year anyway. We're getting there. We're getting to the Halloween times. We're getting to the good
most
time
wonderful time of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Stores. It's time for it.
But I don't know. Let us know what you guys think down below in the comments. Are you guys interested in a prequel, not really a remake of a 1960s version of Ocean's 11? Look, the talent's there, and I'm pretty sure they're going to add some more names onto this thing before it actually goes into production. I mean, again, I'm waiting for a trailer. The trailer's fire. I'm down.
Oh, God damn it!
And it's not. Hey, look, talent is talent, and you
better have dope music like the Ocean's movies did. It better have really good musical score.
It's gonna be set in the 60s, so there's probably gonna be a pretty dope soundtrack to it.
And to be honest, Ryan Gosling kind of looks like the older actor who played Lamarck. He's blonde, and you know what? That's a good point. He could be the one playing the young version. And if Margot Robbie is set up with dark hair, they're definitely going to make her be the mom that ended up being Catherine Zeta-Jones's parents. So it could pass. It could just be a coincidence. Who knows?
Maybe. I have a feeling that if they do end up doing this, that would be the one most logical piece of connective tissue between all the Ocean's movies that we've had the last several years and this movie would be Le Mans. But
yes,
I don't know. Go down to the comments below. Let us know what you guys think. Are you guys interested in the Ocean 11's movie set in 1960 with a new cast? There's possibilities here. I'm optimistic, but again, I want to see more casting news. I want to hear more about the plot. And I would really love to see a trailer, but it's probably going to be a year or so at least before we see a trailer on any of this stuff. But anyway, Lady Cora, what's the next topic we're going into tonight?
Well, speaking of horror goodness, Laurie Strode's final battle against her seemingly immortal nemesis, Michael Myers, will transpire in theaters and on a streaming service near you. Universal Pictures has announced Halloween Ends, the next sequel in the long-running slasher series, will land on Peacock on the same day it arrives on the big screen. The movie is scheduled to premiere October 14th. I think we should go to Tex first. What do you think of the same day release of the movie?
I'm not surprised. This is a Universal-owned product that owns the Peacock service it'll be out on. They did the same thing for Halloween Kills. And now, given when Halloween Kills came out, it was pushed a year back from when it was supposed to be released, and it was in the middle of lockdown. So that's why they released same day because, people were afraid to go to the theater or whatever. I was thinking the other day, I believe there was an article even before this movie was filmed that contractually Halloween Ends was going to be a Peacock same day release as well. Those things can go back and forth or whatever. but I don't think it affects it this much. Will it make less money? Yes, of course. But, I mean, you had Halloween 2018. It was the return of Jamie Lee Curtis. As much as I hate her, she came back. Everybody wanted to see her. So that was, I think that one pulled in $250 million. Halloween Kills came out last year. It was 131, I believe, is what is its box office total, and that was with the Peacock same day stream.
131.6.
131.6. So even with the same day streaming, I mean, hell, what does a Peacock account cost? $5-10? I don't even know, but it still pulled in a gigantic chunk of change. And I think they made that movie for like 20 million or 30, something like that. So it made a ton of money. Halloween, this is not just some scary film. This is the Cadillac of horror. And it's going to make its money. There's no big competition. There's no Friday the 13th or Nightmares to compete with at the theater for Halloween. And people are going to go. So you may watch it at home, but if you're like me who loves this stuff, we're going to be at the theater one way or another. And then when we get home, we'll watch it on Peacock.
Don't forget, the Hocus Pocus movie comes out too.
See, but
that's a more fun movie.
That's in September. That's not even in October. So once again,
it was coming out in October. So you're right.
Oh, yeah, it's in September. So Halloween ends. This is ends. And like I've said on here in horror, ends or final means nothing in horror. Don't even listen to that word. Mm-hmm. If this movie makes $200 million, Jason Blum will go get the rights again from Akkad, and they'll make 5 more. But it's going to make its money. It's an event film. It's obviously it doesn't make Avengers money, but it's an event cinema.
Well, the budget has to be lower because I'm guessing there's way less CGI in something like this.
Like I said, I'm guessing between 20 to 30 million that they made Halloween Ends for. They didn't. It took them like 6 weeks to shoot this movie. It took no time. So it's going to make its money back. It's as far as we know. I mean, take it with a pile of salt, but this is supposedly Jamie Lee Curtis's last role as Laurie Strode. We'll see what happens. I hope it is. I'm ready for Michael to move forward and kill other people. But
oh wow, you were the budget was only $10 million.
Wow.
Okay, so see once again,
that was for the 2018 one. That made 255 on a budget of 10 million. So the one they're doing now can't be much more than that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's going to make its money. It'll make its money within the first day or two. I mean, whenever it comes out, people are going to go see it for Halloween. It's like I said, it's Jamie Lee Curtis's last time as Laurie Strode. You've got the original Nick Castle, the original Shape doing the breathing, and he'll be in the film somewhere. He's been in both parts
like
that we've seen so far.
Like Stan Lee used to do?
In Halloween 18, he cameoed as the Shape in the scene where you see him sitting on the bed upstairs from the mirror. So I forget he may have gotten cut out of Halloween Kills. I can't remember. But either way, he's been in both. So you've got a lot of big names. It's the end of the trilogy. It's going to do fine. Will it make $200 million? Probably not. I'm guessing about 140 because it's the end of the trilogy. But we'll see.
Jeremy, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, the way you could like market this is you could just kind of play off that fact. I mean, I know we're saying, well, it ends. I'm like, well, horror movie shit never ends. I know that for a fact too. However, I mean, the big sell is that you're like, yeah, it's not going to have Jamie Lee Curtis anymore. It's going to be the last thing as Laurie Strode. So, I mean, people are going to want to go see this. I'm sure, and like it's an event, man. Like go out for Halloween. Like you go out to haunted houses, you go out to festivals and shit. Like go out and see this horror movie. Like. I know I'm going to go to the theater and go see it for damn sure. Like, why wouldn't you? That's the most fun. Like you get a whole theater full of people. You get that big screen. I mean, it's a different experience when you go to the theater and see this horror movie. And I'm here for it because honestly, I was like expecting what this movie was probably going to be in the last movie. But hey, whatever you blew your whole Laurie wad in the trailer, and I'm like, oh, okay, so we're just not going to do that though. I got you.
Blew your whole Laurie wad.
They did. I think we mentioned that. Like, they didn't even.
Oh,
but didn't they just make everybody think that the movie last year was going to be the last one with her in it, and now they're doing another one?
No,
when we realized she was just bedridden the whole fucking movie, I was like, "Oh, we're not done with this. We're gonna keep going."
I thought they marketed it to be the very end of her time in the franchise. Oh, my mistake.
This new trilogy, Halloween 18 came out. It was a huge success. And that week, they announced Halloween Kills and Ends. And originally, all three films were supposed to take place on the same night. Well, Halloween 18 and Kills are back-to-back. They're literally the same night. But Ends takes place 4 years later to make it the current timeline. David Gordon Green and Danny McBride, who wrote these movies, they apparently had some new, better idea, and that's when the whole is. They started saying that COVID was going to be a plot point, and everybody's worried, and I still am. But I mean,
Tex, can you imagine Michael with a mask on?
Well, he's already wearing them. He's already wearing them. He's good to go.
You know what I mean?
Thanks, Shatner.
An N95 mask over his mask.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's this is
it's a fake.
The only way that they got Jamie Lee Curtis to come back was basically to make her an executive producer, so she could do her little preaching and SJW nonsense. That's why it's in the films. But no, she was marketed to be in Ends the whole time. So
Well, I'm just saying they didn't even do the. I thought it was that cool ass shot we talked about. I think. We're like, it looked like the hospital. Everyone's running this way, and she's running she's walking the opposite way with the knife in her hand. It's like, did that even happen?
Right.
I don't think it did. Like the one time she got up, she got her ass kicked by the people that were stampeding after the patient that escaped from the asylum that wasn't even him. And then she's like, damn it, back to my room.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, whatever, dude.
I can't wait for the breakdown that we do for this film because I've got some questions about this.
I'm saying if the vibe is, I mean, the whole, I think I literally said, "Oh shit!" It's like Michael opens that door and she's just standing there with a gun trained right at his face. I was like, okay, if that's what we're going with, oh my god, I'm here for it.
Well, let's not forget.
She's up against a window, like, "Come on, get me, motherfucker!" I was like,
yeah, but in that scene, Michael grew them fingers back too. So I got some questions, Lucy.
Or he looped it from Star Wars and had somebody make a prosthetic. He
transcended so hard he just grew his fingers back. He's like, he's so evil.
I got the loop job.
Right.
Stranger things have happened in movies.
In horror movies too, even shit.
Yeah. I mean, hell, Jason's been sent to space and blown up in 12 different ways with an H-bomb, and he somehow still comes back and kills teenagers across the lake.
He got an access fucking dope.
But don't forget, Friday the 13th Part 4 was the final chapter, Frank. Don't forget that. That was the final one. They never made another one after that.
There was also the final Nightmare in Nightmare on Elm Street, and that wasn't it.
Right.
Like the fifth one was the final Nightmare. I'm like, no, it's not. There was the Final Destination, and we fucking made two more?
There's 12 more Final Destinations.
How many are there Final Destination movies?
Too many.
6.
So
Five or
is it
six.
as bad as Fast and Furious, or is it just...
I enjoy it, but I'm a mark for it. So
it's they're fun movies. They're just
I've never seen them, but I've told they're fun to watch.
They are fun, but the point is like, okay, whatever the big accident that the people get out of, it's like those are fun to watch, and then you see how it unreels itself of like, okay, death is now trying to retrace its steps of we were all supposed to die, and you just kind of have to switch your brain off and just let the convoluted bullshit happen of how death kills people in this movie. It's just fun.
Let's hope Lori dies in this movie so they're not tempted to bring her back again for Texas' sake. He doesn't have to ruin another movie.
I hope they kill her in the first 5 minutes. Please.
They won't, Tex. They're going to drag her through the whole movie.
I think she dies, but it won't be till the end.
Maybe they could do like a mirrored thing from like, what was it, H2O? Where he's sitting there like reaching out for fucking hacks his head off.
He cuts her head off this time. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Maybe she gets trapped under a car and he just whacks her head off. I'm like, yeah, there you go.
I personally have
new sequel. It wasn't really Lori. Boom.
I personally have a lot of reservations about this news.
We'll make one called H40. Whatever.
You know what? I don't know. All I know is
No. They should go to 20 and call it H2O. Get it?
They already did that. They already did that.
That was the one from the 90s. Yeah. That's what it was called, H2O.
What? I have a lot of problems with this news. Here's why. Number one, not the first Halloween movie, the first in this new trilogy, Halloween 2018, I thought was a good movie. Made $255 million worldwide. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Halloween Kills. Okay, it had a few things going against it. Pandemic being one of the primary things. Another thing is that the movie was not nearly as good as the first one. The social commentary was a little heavy. The whole Evil Dies Tonight became kind of a meme. It became a little silly at one point in the movie.
Oh, very much
so. That drags down what people thought of the movie, so it didn't really get the legs that it wanted. So it only made $131.5 million worldwide. Part of that is, again, coming out of the pandemic. It came out at a time when people were so a little squeamish about going back to theaters. Totally understandable. But that one was also released day and date on HBO. You can't tell me that if they would have released that in the theaters primarily first and waited at least the 45-day window, not even the full 90, because I don't think at that point they had decided to shorten the theatrical window from 90 days down to 45. If you'd have done that, I think it probably would have come close to 175 or 200 million. 175 probably, or somewhere in that ballpark. It would have been better than 131.6. But it didn't do well. And people had problems with the movie. Now, here's something about this movie that I've heard. Or that I think. Number one, I don't like the plot. It's one of the things that I really liked about the first two films is they happen right on top of each other. So it's like we get the events of the first film, and the second film starts immediately after the next one, and it's like the battle is just continuing. And I really like the idea of having this entire trilogy of films that happens all in the span of 24 hours. It's just like because when the third one comes out, it hits home media. I can sit here and watch 2018, 2021, and 2023, bam, 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 and it all happens in just one glorious, like 6-hour-long horror fest of people getting whacked down by the shape. That would have been beautiful. They'd have been good movies. Second movie, not so good. This movie, the plot doesn't work for me. It doesn't fit. It happens 4 years later, so we don't get to see. Because remember, when Halloween Kills, when that movie ends, her daughter gets killed, and she has no idea that her daughter's dead yet. So we're not even going to be able to see her reaction to finding out that her daughter's been killed by Michael.
Unless they open up on that.
That's going to happen off screen. And now we're going to get this whole, she's writing her memoirs. That doesn't sound like the kind of thing Laurie Strode's going to do. At least not the Laurie Strode that we know of in these last two films. Because she's very reserved, just really wants to kind of
It didn't work for the last season of Roseanne. Why would it work for this?
Yeah, it does. I don't feel like that's where Laurie would really be. I think that's a disservice to the character. And then her granddaughter's boyfriend is accused of killing a kid. I'm not blown away by that. It doesn't really fit with everything I've gotten so far. The plot doesn't sound good. I don't like the fact that it's so far removed from the last two films, time-wise, that it's not gonna. It feels like it's gonna.
What if they do flashbacks, Frank, and they show you how she finds out her daughter dies?
But it's not going to help the momentum. It's not going to help the momentum of the movie. I mean, the momentum of the character, maybe. I mean, I'll understand it in the character's flow of what happens to them, but for the momentum of the films, it's not going to work. Because now, if I sit and watch all three of these films together, one after another, it's like the first 4 hours or whatever of the first two movies is gonna all be in the same timeline, and it's gonna feel like this one happens a little too far removed. It's not gonna feel like it fits. The other thing that bothers me about this is, generally speaking, you put movies on streaming services day and date now because you don't think the movie is gonna make you a lot of money. So what this tells me is that people inside Blumhouse or whoever is putting this out, they don't think the movie's that good either. They don't think the movie's that good either. Is Peacock paying them
to get it? Because maybe they're getting a huge check from Peacock.
Well, okay. Let's say this real quick. It's not being released for free on Peacock. It's going to be exclusive release. So even if you are a Peacock subscriber, you're going to have to pay like $20 to buy the movie.
Like Disney Plus did with that a couple movies.
And Disney made a tremendous mistake. And that's why as soon as the pandemic started to look like we finally got into the waning days of the pandemic, if they were like, screw this day and date shit on Disney Plus, all theatrical. Same thing with a lot of these other places. They're like, you know what, screw the day and date stuff, all theatrical. We feel like we're finally.
Is it possible to change their mind on this?
It's possible. They're not gonna. Because you've announced it. It comes out in 2 months.
Like I said, I still think I still remember seeing something that Ends was going to be the same deal because Universal owns. I know they have a deal with Blumhouse, so that's why it went to Peacock. So I'm pretty sure, because if you go back to when Netflix got the rights to Texas Chainsaw, that's when Peacock announced that they were going to do Halloween Kills on their service to compete, because those came out at the same time. And I'm pretty sure they said Ends as well. So this may have been done beforehand and they didn't have a choice. It was a contractual thing. I'm not sure. But I still say it's going to make its money. I mean, it's anybody who's going to pay to see it, they're still going to go pay to see it one way or another. I don't know. I think
it's the spooky movie for the spooky season. Damn it, we're going to go see it.
It's like I said, it's the Cadillac, man. This is not.
That's the thing. That's the thing, though. It's not just a spooky movie for the spooky season. Like Tech says,
right.
Like there is Mount Rushmore of horror movies.
This is the magnum opus of fucking horror movies.
I mean, it's like you can argue about the other three, but I mean, you know that Michael Myers, you can maybe argue about like one of them, not the other three, but I mean, Michael Myers is on that mountain. So this is not just another Halloween movie. This is not just another, we're going to release this around in October because there's a body count and people love seeing kills on movie screens. No,
so
this is a legacy product.
No.
This is much more than just a genre film. This is a legacy product. Star Wars is a legacy product. Marvel has become a legacy product. That's what this is. This is a legacy product in filmmaking that has spanned 4 decades. This is not just another slasher film.
Is this just a cash grab? Like you said, Disney Plus made a lot of money.
I 100% believe that they do not think this movie's good.
Okay.
But isn't
the fandom there to get people to go see it at least once?
Well, yeah, but the problem is when it's a horror movie, and the horror fandom is a lot smaller than it once was. It's still significant, don't get me wrong, but it's not what it once was back in the 70s and 80s, especially in the 70s when you could go balls out in a horror movie and nobody cared. But
those are the good ones, yeah.
But the problem is that fandom is very serious, and the moment that movie hits theaters, and one hardcore fan like Jeremy or Tex goes to see it, and they walk out, and they're going to hit Twitter and say, "This movie's fucking horrible," and that's going to be it. I mean, that's going to be it. The second weekend drop off is because this movie is not going to make $200 million its opening weekend anyway. So if it makes $50 million, that's not bad. But when you see that shit drop off to $10 million in its second weekend, good luck. Your movie
sucks. Is
there
international interest in horror that's bigger than it is here in the U.S.?
Well, yeah. I mean, Asia's always a good horror market, and there's some. And Europe's not bad.
France
has
been doing good.
Yeah, but I mean, this is. It's a very American product, but I mean, yeah, if this movie sucks, it won't matter because I am one tweet away from telling everybody in Europe how bad this movie is. All I got to do is say Halloween Ends was a bad movie, and then some asshole on Twitter is going to go look up Halloween Ends on Twitter and be like, "Oh, this dude said it was a bad movie. Maybe I'll go see something else tonight." That's the world we live in now, as opposed to the world that we lived in back in 74 or whatever when the original came out.
78.
That's the world.
78.
That's the world that we live in now. So if that movie's bad, word's going to spread like a fire across this entire planet in about 10 minutes. And that's it.
There's like I said, there's a lot riding on this, given that this is the third one in this movie. There's a lot of, and that's the problem, is it might be riding too high of an expectation. And when you go in there, you're kind of like, well, what was that? You know?
Yeah,
that might also bring it down.
That first trailer, I love the first trailer because it gave me what this movie needs to be. It's the final confrontation between these two immovable objects. These two forces of horror greatness are going to hit, and they're probably both going to be destroyed, and that's going to be glorious. But if the movie itself sucks, that final battle is not going to hit the way you want it to hit. And if what they gave us in that trailer was just glimpses of the final battle because they think the rest of the movie is not good enough to put clips of it in the trailer, that's a scary thought.
Well,
that's
what else could you really?
Well,
people want to see that shit. Like I said, I didn't expect him to open a door and shoot the stinger with a gun pointed at him. I was like, "Whoa, shit! Hey, what's up?"
This is the third and probably final chance that Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode has to kill the shape in a proper way. In Halloween 2. He blew up in a hospital fire that Dr. Loomis set off. In Halloween H2O, she cut his head off and then, but it wasn't really him, and he's back in Resurrection, and then he kills her off. So she failed it once again there. If we're going by the 3 strikes and you're out rule, this is her final at bat. So,
but
we'll see what comes. I think they both die at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, they have.
I'm fine with that.
It started with them. It has to die with them. I love the Halloween franchise. I firmly believe this has a lot of legs to be rebooted away from Laurie Strode. The point of the Shape is he's pure evil. Evil never dies. You can't kill the boogeyman. He can go after anybody.
Did you watch Twin Peaks, Tex?
I have not. No.
Okay, so basically it's a small town, and an FBI agent goes up because there's this weird murder, and they can't figure it out. And he ends up staying in this small town, and it turns out at the very end of the series that there's this murderous spirit named Bob that inhabits other people's bodies and kills people. And what you're saying, it sounds like, so even if the Michael body disappears in this being could,
that sounds like
in a different iteration, could go into a different body.
That sounds
like they tried that.
Jason Goes to Hell. That's what that sounds like.
They tried that. Well, no, not just that, but they tried that in Halloween 5 with the Curse of Thorn. Let's not forget. And it could be transferred and whatever. Oh yeah, so does every other Halloween fan. But I mean, no, Michael is the evil. He doesn't. Okay. It doesn't go to somebody else. He is it. He is the embodiment of evil. That's why he's the Shape. He's the boogeyman. Go back and watch any John Carpenter interview. He says it, not him. He says he's a force of nature. It is a force of nature. Michael is. That's why he's on top of that Mount Rushmore, because he's not Jason Voorhees. He's not a.
So he doesn't eat or sleep.
You don't know what he does, and that's the point.
Yeah, you don't know.
You're not supposed to know. Because he doesn't speak.
He has no motivation.
He doesn't do anything. I mean, he has a pale blank mask because your fear is his mask might as well be a mirror because you're seeing your own fear in that mask. Mm-hmm. That's why it is the way that it is. So
well said.
There's a whole psychology.
Helping me understand. Yeah. Well, when it comes out, it'll either be a love or a hate, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I want to love this movie. I want this to be a perfect ending to this whole thing, and then I want the franchise to rest for several years. And then if you're gonna do more, fine, reboot the whole damn thing. Don't go back. Don't run back to Jamie Lee Curtis for name recognition. Go ahead and give me a whole new iteration of this story. You can go back. You can have Laurie Strode, the character, just bring someone else in new. Maybe you could set it in the 90s, so that way she's in her 30s now, like the murders in the 90s, so that way if you bring it to the modern day, she could be in her 30s dealing with it or whatever. I mean, just you could do something new with it. Just if you're going to do that, don't run back to the old stuff. Or an
origin story of how the evil became into his body somehow.
No, that's a bad idea.
No.
Why?
No.
Because one of the attractive things about characters like this is you don't know why they're evil. They're just evil.
You don't think they ever are going to explore that? And
they already did that. They already did that in my favorite. Well, my favorite movie of all time is Rob Zombie's Halloween, and it's a departure. It's completely different. But in Rob Zombie, in 2007 they rebooted the franchise, completely new timeline, new everything else, and they showed you young Michael. He came from a bad home. He already had something wrong in his head, and they showed you all like. If John Carpenter's version of The Shape was, you see him kill his sister, and then his dad goes, Michael, and pulls the mask off, and then it's 20 years later. Rob Zombie showed you the other side of that. Now, most fans hated it. I loved it. Like I said, I'm a mark for Rob Zombie films, and that's my all-time favorite movie of all time.
I mean, that came out that was when I was in high school. I was
you like the Munsters?
Oh, I can't wait for the Munsters. I'm excited as hell for that movie. That looks great. Frank is out of his mind if he doesn't think that looks good. So.
It's the trailer.
I think the trailer was horrible. This movie could be dope as fuck, and I want it to be. The trailer was awful.
I keep telling you, can't just base it off a trailer, goddammit.
No, hey, look, like I said, I'm gonna go see the movie. I want it to be awesome, but the trailer was god awful. But that's the whole point. I mean, some of the great characters like Michael, like the Joker. One of the reasons why the Joker is such a great bad guy is because you don't really know where he comes from. He is just evil. There's no rhyme or reason as to why he does what he does. He just does.
I just do things.
Yeah, and that was one of the few knocks that I had on Tim Burton's Batman film from '89 is that they actually tried to give him a backstory. They made him the one who killed Bruce's parents, and I was like, you kind of shrink the world. I like the fact that he's just evil and there's no reason why. He just is. And it makes it scarier and more visceral when the bad guy doesn't have an explanation. He's just a killer. The lack of knowledge. Yeah, the lack of knowledge about the killer makes the killer more scary. You don't know. There is no why. There is no. Did your mom hug you enough, or
the fear of the
too
unknown.
much or not enough? Yeah, it's That's what makes it more visceral, and that's what's great about Michael is that he is just a killer. He is just this physical embodiment of evil, of the devil.
It works in its simplicity.
Would this movie be bad if Laurie dies and Michael doesn't?
Oh, I love it.
It wouldn't be bad, but then again, that door is wide open for evil's still out there, and he's going to do whatever he does.
It's just like I put out on Twitter a couple weeks ago. I put out what I would do for the ending of this film. I would have Michael fighting Laurie. Alice and her granddaughter is there. I would have it set in Smith's Grove Sanitarium where Michael grew up. I would have Michael and Laurie going hand in hand. Allison's got the gun in her hand. Laurie said, shooting, while she's standing there holding Michael, knowing that she's going to shoot her own grandmother, but she's sacrificing herself to finally kill the shape. You have Michael fall out the window. Laurie's on the floor bleeding out. She rushes to her grandmother to check her. She runs to the window. She sees Michael's dead body laying there, turns her head and comes back, and poof, he's gone. To mirror the 78 film, because why? Evil never dies. That's the whole point of this franchise. Dr. Loomis said it over and over and over again. You can't kill the boogeyman. You can't see a dead Michael laying there at the end of this film. He has to disappear because it mirrors. If we're wrapping up the original timeline here for hopefully the final time, you have to mirror that original. That's the role of a sequel. It has to be done.
I mean, they even did that joke in the 18 movie, like where Laurie fell out the window or some shit, and Michael comes to the window and she's gone. I'm like, got him.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, you little fucker.
Interesting role reversal.
Yeah. All right. I'll learn that from you.
They can't do the shape dirty on this one. It's got to be ended right. I mean, it's like Frank said. The problem with ending a story is you're going to upset a lot of people. Because, I didn't want him to do it this way.
Well,
so there's going to be a lot of hate. Huh?
Well, we don't want things to end, but they have to. It's like we didn't want it. Like you said, like this whole thing it's got to be the Marvel story. It started with Iron Man. It fucking ended with Tony Stark, man. It just, boom, and it was over. And it's like, that sucks. I'm like, but it has to end. And what other beautiful way to end it with who it started with in the first place? Like,
yeah.
If that's how we do it,
they could have a comedic moment and have
no comedy in Halloween 5 was a comedic take. No, ma'am, I will not have that in this conversation.
I was being sarcastic.
No.
I know that's a bad idea.
Please. A joke.
They could end it with Michael doing stand-up at an open mic night. I kill people.
And then Joaquin walks across the stage like, "Oh, hey man, what's up? And what the fuck?"
He kills Laurie, stands over her body and dabs. He's like, "Bitch!"
Or no, has a microphone and mic drops.
He squats down and he has a selfie with her dead body, like, boom, #, killed her. I don't know.
He takes his mask off and goes,
or takes
I can finally talk after all these years.
The shape was here.
He stands over and is like, you got knocked the fuck out.
Bye, Felicia. God damn it.
Oh, goodness. Well, go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think. Day and date for Halloween Ends. I personally, it's going to hurt the box office, and now I worry about the movie. I'll put it right now. Tex, what'd you say it's going to do? 140?
I'll say 140.
I'll say 50.
I was going to say 50.
I don't know about 50.
I bid $1, Bob.
I say $50 million and $1.
Right. I'm that asshole when the price is right.
I'm going to get... Now, total box office
Casey
worldwide
might know
for
the
its
actual
entire
number.
run?
Yeah, I'm going for total box office at the end. Once they stop measuring, I'm going to say 140.
Yeah, you said how much?
140, I think.
140. I said 140.
She said
I'll go
50.
40. I'll go 30 to 40, so 35 million. I'll go under 50.
What? 35 or 135?
Wow.
I don't know. If it's like Frank said, I don't know.
I'll do
Here's
150.
the thing: a lot of people are just going to buy it at home and watch it. It's not going to get the box office pull because they know they can just sit at home and for the price of $20-some, their whole household their whole family can come over and watch it like a wrestling pay-per-view and skip the cost of the theater. Money's tight right now, so I just foresee a lot of people choosing that.
Okay, here's the thing: Spirit Halloween is only open a couple months out of the year, and they pull in like almost $9 billion in the time that they're open. Even in bad times, people spend money on Halloween, especially for something like this. So I'm willing to bet that there's a Michael Myers Halloween film in theaters for Halloween, even though, because hell, if you want to go with the streaming argument, how soon are films released on the internet that you can just pirate and never have to pay for, but they still make money? So like I said, I'll stand at 140. That's what it'll pull in for the end of the final timeline.
So Tex thinks it's going to do 140 worldwide for its entire run. Jeremy, you said 150?
I'll do 50. I thought about doing 45, but I'll do 50.
I'll do 35.
You're taking 50 million worldwide for its entire run? Wow. That's low. I'm going to go
75 is my guess what you're going to pick.
I feel like it's 115. I mean, because it's still it's but like I said, this is a legacy property. This is not just the last one, like the last film that comes out.
The last Harry Potter movie was huge.
That's what me and my mom just talked about there. It's like it's her last movie. I'm like, that's the big market pull. That's why I wanted to aim a little higher. I'm like,
but the movie still has to be good. And if it's not good, a lot of the horror fans who didn't grow up with it like we did, who are casual horror fans, if it's not good, the first reviews they get, they're going to be like, I'm going to wait till they drop it for free on a streamer.
Well, they are dropping it 2 weeks before Halloween. So maybe from the 13th or the 31st,
even they did the same thing for Halloween.
People are going to go see it, and it's going to be like a seasonal novelty. Let's go see a Halloween movie around Halloween. So they might get 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks of solid box office, even if social media says it's shit.
People if it's anything like going to see it anyway,
if it's anything like Halloween Kills, when Halloween Kills came out, it opened in the 1st of October and it had a big boom, and then it had a couple weeks where it was kind of dry. But then Halloween weekend, because last year Halloween was on a Saturday, it had another huge box office. So depending on where it falls, it could affect it too.
Well,
it's like Hallmark movies at Christmas. Nobody really likes Hallmark movies, but because it's Christmas, people fucking watch them.
Yeah, because it's Christmas, girls watch them.
I don't watch them.
No man ever watches the Lifetime Movie Network.
No. It's the Hallmark Network. They have their own network.
Or Hallmark,
and stuff.
whatever.
Hallmark. There's no difference.
I never watched that channel either.
I hate them. And my best friend loves them. So every year for Christmas, I buy her the Hallmark streaming service subscription as a gift. And she watches those movies year round. So
they're all owned by Oprah anymore, so it doesn't matter.
Jesus Christ. What was it? I think that meme came back up on my fucking timeline. It was like, Oprah shares her secrets of how to live a stress-free life at 50. I'm like, step 1, have $1 billion fucking dollars.
Yeah.
Right.
Make $10 million and your feet hit the floor every morning.
Right.
Oh, goodness.
Whatever.
Anyway, go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think about Halloween Ends releasing day and date. Let us know what you guys think the movie's going to make. Tech says 140. Jeremy says, what, did you say 50? That's low.
Yeah.
That's low.
I said 150.
150. I asked you if you said 50 or 150.
Oh, okay.
150.
I'll say 75. I'll be generous. I'll say 75 million.
Excuse me. I'm thinking 115. I think that there's, I don't know. I think the biggest problem is the movie's not going to be good because it worries me.
I want to believe in it. Damn it.
I want to believe in it. I want this movie to be awesome. I
believe in Harvey Dent. I believe in Michael Myers. I'll make a pin.
I'll be making that on my Photoshop after we get off this call.
Yeah, right.
I'll send it to you.
Fan art.
All right.
Somebody got fan art.
I'll wear it.
Put it up here.
I'll put on the blue jumpsuit and put that big pin right there. I believe in Michael Myers. I will walk onto this stream that day when we review this fucking movie. I'll sit down with a mask and a pin and be like, all right.
But before we move on, I do want to say a very big thank you to our Patreon subscribers who have been supporting the channel for a long, long time now. And it's time to give away $25 in free movie tickets as I switch over to the random generator. This is brought to you by Online Stopwatch.
Let's hope Casey wins.
I
don't know. I don't know. I'm just glad to have supporters at this point. Oh, wait a minute. Do I have to reset something? Oh, yeah, I do. Give me 1 second, guys. It says there's 20 names in the draw, and that is not right. It's going to come up with some
Did Casey
stupid
stick his name in 19 times?
He probably did, little bastard.
No, it was me. I think when I restarted my computer, I didn't actually put stuff in the right way. That's actually my fault. Anyway, so you guys can vamp for a minute while I fix this.
So, Jeremy, you don't have to. I know you don't have any pops to open, but you don't say what they are. Did you order any cool ones this week?
Well, actually, no. I did order some stuff, but
Are they hard to find ones or rare ones or just new ones?
Well, it wasn't even pops that I ordered. I got like I said, I got one that I checked it and the box was absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
I got the refund I think the same day or if not the next day. I just haven't gone back through to order it again. But there was one that I did order that I'll try and or that one I will try to get again. No, actually what I spent most of my what I actually bought was Etsy came through on this because I watched a YouTube video of someone who, because like I said, I'm going to go as Eddie Munson. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, well, I luckily, I don't know how I did it. And I agree with Brooding Gamer because he went with me a few times. But I probably could have been a whole series of me just searching for a damn denim. I wanted a jacket, just a jacket. I can cut the sleeves off, make it into the vest. I don't care. I tried so many times, so many stores to find one, and I just could not get it. Finally, actually,
eBay, there's some pretty cool vintage clothing options there.
But I did finally find one that it was a legit Levi jacket, like he had the little red tab that he has. I'm like, okay, perfect. Now I'm like, shit. Now I need all the patches. Now I need all the pins and all that crap.
You have time.
No, I do. But I watched a video of like someone describe like here's Judas Priest. Here's the Leviathan patch. Here's the Megadeth patch. Here's Motorhead. Mm-hmm. And where to put them. Right. I was like, okay, cool. And they had links to every single one. I was like, holy crap.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's cool.
No longer available. I'm like, okay, this is not good. This is not good.
If you're finding stuff, Jeremy, I'm really good at researching. Send me the link to the video and I'll find you all of that shit.
That's where I'm getting to the end of my escapade here was I was like, shit. I'm like, okay, I have eBay, I have Etsy, I have Amazon. I'm like, okay, I feel kind of bad. Like, if anyone didn't watch, I'll plug this now. Rachel started streaming. She started streaming yesterday. She actually started
Twitch,
playing.
Wasn't it?
Yes. So she started playing the game the day before. And I kind of felt a little bad. I was trying to watch, but I was like in my phone, like, God damn it, where's the patch? Where's the pins? Where's the fuck? Okay, that's cool. That's funny. Oh my god, shit. This game looks really fucking awesome. God, where the fuck is everything? So I was paying attention. I got to see it again when she streamed, but somebody came the fuck through on Etsy. Like, I just searched for it. Someone had an entire. It's like here's all the patches in one.
Wow.
They're selling all that. They're like here's all the pins in one set. The only one I had to get separate was like the real big pin, the wasp pin that's up here. And I'm like, oh my god,
couldn't have been easier.
Thank you. I was like, someone had a set of all the patches, a set of all the pins. I'm like, thank you. Shit. Thanks. Now I'm just waiting on that.
Do you have the wig yet?
I do not. There is a rocker wig at like Spirit Halloween. It's the real long. It's kind of the same mullet. It's like real long and comes down to here. There's one that's more his style of hair, but it's like light brown. It's not even like a dark brown.
You know, you should just glue it to your head and rock it for a while. It could be a nice look for you.
I did want to grow my hair out.
Work with it on Jeremy and put a hat over it.
You don't think I'm not already gonna do that? Halloween's on a fucking Monday. I'm gonna walk into work looking like Munson, fucking just rocking out all day.
Good for you. Good
It's
for you.
looking like you just left a Motley Crue concert in 1984. It's gonna be great.
That's the other scary part. Someone had like actual like vintage of those pins like from the mid 80s. I was like, I feel bad, but yeah, I'm like, I looked at them, like the back's a little rusted. I was like, I don't want the actual pins. I just want like just give me a Judas Priest
reproduction.
Just Jesus. I'm fine with that. I don't care.
Well, Rachel's all for you growing your hair out. She just said so in the chat.
Chill, woman. I said we were watching Loki, and I was like, you know what? I would look good with a Tom Hiddleston like slick back with the long hair. Trust me. Jesus, it wouldn't take hard. It wouldn't be too hard to make an Eddie Munson mullet.
It would make that President Loki costume pop a little more. That's for sure.
Oh, it would. That's kind of really my. I kind of want to do it just for that reason. Just why not? I could make that work a lot better if I had longer hair.
Well, let's go ahead and give away $25 in free movie tickets. Rachel may be getting $25 in free movie tickets right now. You never know. We're about to find out.
Take you to see Halloween Ends.
Oh, Jennifer won.
Whatever. Rachel didn't get it. You give it to.
This is rigged.
No,
this is so rigged.
Rigged. I demand a recount.
I always feel bad when Jennifer wins the $25 in free movie tickets. I keep telling her, I'm like, maybe I should put your name out. She's like, no. I like to see my name on screen.
Hi, Jen.
That's funny.
Whatever. I think she's probably asleep by now. But
congratulations.
Congratulations to my woman, because I don't give her enough money. Now I get to give her $25.
You can't make a rule that you have to be present to win. That's crap.
I guess it really should.
Present, Jeremy. They're in the same house.
Yeah, but she's not in the chat.
Oh boy.
I should say from now on you have to be in the chat to win, but why not?
There you go.
Congratulations to my woman Jennifer, and now I get to take her to go see a movie. She's been begging me for a date night the last couple of weeks anyway, so
nice.
It'll probably work out in the end.
You can order a pizza.
We could. But anyway,
your mind.
Back to the stories. Lady Cora, what's the next story we're talking about tonight?
Well, Jeremy's gonna love it.
Nope. Next. Show's over. Thank you. Goodbye.
Since the Clue remake was first announced in 2018, there haven't been too many updates outside of Ryan Reynolds starring in the Whodunit. But all that changed as new developments were recently announced. Years after the remake stagnated, it is still happening, and it just took a major step forward in production. In an exclusive Deadline reported the Lost City co-writer Oren Uziel has been tapped to rewrite the original screenplay. Coming off the success of the action romantic comedy, Uziel is stepping in to rewrite the original draft from Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick. It is unclear if the movie scribe will do a complete rewrite or just a rework of some of the scenes and characters. Frank, what do you think of a Ryan Reynolds-driven Clue remake?
I am usually really, really tepid on remakes of some stuff like this, because like Clue is a 1 in a million film. I mean, it didn't do very well when it first came out.
Let's admit it.
Well, yeah.
And a game, yes, it's a fun board game to play too. But that movie,
in the library with a wrench.
That's one of the classic. Oh, she is in the chat. Hey, see, Jennifer, you won $25.
She didn't see it. Nobody tell her.
She probably heard me screaming down the hallway, and she's like, "I better jump in there real quick and make my presence known." But yeah, I mean, this is one of the top 5 like cult movies ever made, in my opinion.
I agree.
But I mean, you can't deny the amount of talent that is loaded up in the original film. I mean, you've got Eileen Brennan, who was great, Madeline Kahn, who was great, Martin Mull, who's fantastic, Leslie Ann Warren, Michael McKean, who was so hot in the 80s. I don't know what happened to him. For some reason, when the 90s rolled around, I don't think he faded out. I just think he chose to do smaller stuff. But he's always been great.
So the 90s ruined the 80s.
No, just I don't know. His career in particular, I don't know why. I don't know why, because he was in so many great movies, but his career for some reason just played out. And then, of course, you add in absolute Hall of Famers like Christopher Lloyd and the great Tim Curry. I mean, this, for one, have you guys seen this movie?
I have seen it.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's a great movie, yeah.
It's the fucking comedic timing of Tim Curry. I don't know how.
Oh
my God, that shit is so funny. It's how he delivers it.
The movie was a bit of an experiment by the production company. What they did, it's like, because I know people who have seen it since it's come out on home media, like video, DVD, whatever. They actually have the ending where it shows you all the different endings. It could have ended this way, could have ended that way. But one of the things they did to try to boost ticket sales for this movie is that every time you saw the movie, it was a different ending. So they would make people want to go back to buy their movie ticket to see the other ending that they didn't see last time. It didn't work out very well. Pissed a lot of people off. From some of the stuff that I've read, that actually it was one of the criticisms that people like Siskel and Ebert and stuff like that would give it, is that I don't understand why we had to go back 17 times to watch 17 different endings. But for some reason, it's become this mad cult favorite. And honestly, who else could do something like this than Ryan Reynolds? It's a very different kind of film that. It takes a different kind of filmmaker to make it work. Now, there's some filmmakers out there that could do it, probably. I mean, you could easily look at you could look at a guy like a Spielberg or a Tarantino. They would give it their own flair, and it might not quite fit their filmmaking style, but I think it would be good. But I mean, somebody with Ryan Reynolds' grip on comedy. I mean, look at what he's done with Deadpool. Look what he's done with some of his other stuff that he's done.
Well, even Daniel Craig did something similar in Knives Out, like playing that kind of like kooky but really cool detective.
Well, and that's
a lot of fun.
That's one of the things that is kind of driving this movie back to the forefront. I think is the
you think so?
The whodunit genre of mystery films is making a bit of a comeback because of Knives Out. What was the other movie? Damn it. John, I'm blanking on the name. But I mean, even stuff like Murder on the Orient Express and Death in the Nile, which didn't do very well commercially, and the critics kind of beat up on it a little bit. I actually thought Death in the Nile was a pretty decent movie. I mean, me and Jennifer,
they're better books, just saying.
Oh, the books are usually better than the movies, yes. But I thought Death in the Nile was very enjoyable. I thought it was a pretty good movie.
It was fun.
And again, it's just loaded with talent. It's got Kenneth Branagh, who I absolutely love. I mean, yes. I'll jerk off Kenneth Branagh whenever he wants. But I mean, and to top it all off,
somebody clip that, please.
Somebody clip that and send it to Kenneth Branagh. But it's not just Ryan Reynolds; it's the writing and production team from Deadpool. And Deadpool and Deadpool 2 have been pretty fucking dope.
I just don't want this to be Deadpool playing a game of Clue. Like,
that's the thing.
I don't want it to be that. Like,
I didn't want to say it, Jeremy, but I had that concern.
I'm a little hesitant because I'm like, oh my god, it's just gonna be Deadpool.
Why didn't they just hire somebody who's similar to Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool character? I don't know, but I think bringing him in, he's kind of typecasted.
Well,
I love his comedy. I love his timing. I love how he is. And I love the way he does things, but I'm just like, I just don't want to.
What about Dane Cook? Deadpool. He could have done this too. He's funny.
He's not Ryan Reynolds funny.
Yeah, okay, I will admit he is hilarious, and I love Ryan Reynolds.
But think of it this way, though: it's Ryan Reynolds and his team also gave us Free Guy, which is still a very different movie from Deadpool. Because his character in that movie is different from Wade Wilson. It's still every bit as funny, but it's right up his alley when it comes to the brand of comedy. True. And this I think is probably a really good vehicle for him to mess around with.
If he does a British accent and has a funny mustache, I'm all for it.
Put him in a tux.
There's one joke.
And that's the other thing is what character does he play? Does he play the butler?
That's what I'm saying.
He's got to be the butler.
Maybe he plays the candlestick. And he stands there holding. I got Jeremy to roll his eyes.
I don't really care what role he plays, but there's one joke that I expect from Ryan Reynolds. At some point in this film, he needs to be all cheeky and say, "Yeah, I gave it to her in the bedroom with a lead pipe." You know, like a little wink and a nod. That you know what's going on.
That's exactly the kind of joke you would spit in this movie too.
Yeah. Right, but that's the
for
kind
the
of
porn version text.
Well, you know, they're probably making it right now since this has been announced. They're getting ahead of schedule. But,
gotcha.
Right. It's they got to keep the cheesy camp feel of the first one in this movie. And with Ryan Reynolds and his team doing it, I have no doubt that that's going to be the way that it is. So
just don't make it Deadpool. No. Please don't.
And it can't be exactly like the first one because they have 5 options of how to end it.
Right. Or that scene at the end where they go, "We all did it." You know, that's always a crowd pleaser too. But you know,
which was actually one of the endings of the original movie, is that they were all guilty.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that we all did it. You know. Yeah, but I don't know. Like, this is something I'd go see. It's fun. It's a popcorn flick. It's something you don't have to think too hard about. It's just a good time at the movies. It'll make its money. Ryan Reynolds is a proven commodity at this point. So. I ain't too worried about it.
Yeah. Actually, originally, this was supposed to... Jason Bateman was originally attached to direct the film, but he left, citing that his hiatus period from Netflix Ozark would not give him enough time to shoot the film. Damn. But after Ozark's departure, it was announced after Bateman's departure, it was announced that the Muppet director James Bobbin would take Bateman's place. The only consistent through this whole thing has been Ryan Reynolds, who's remained a staple for the whodunit film despite all the changes. With the screenplay being written, it will be a while before viewers find out who will join Ryan Reynolds amongst the colorful cast of characters. Again, a lot of this is going to come down to cast, because when you look at the cast of the original film, it is an all-star team of great comedians from the 70s and 80s. I mean, unfortunately, Madeline Kahn, I think, passed away several years ago. Leslie Ann Warren, I think, is still alive. Tim Curry has obviously been having some serious health struggles over the years. We're probably not looking at a cameo from him, unfortunately. Christopher Lloyd, while a million years old, could potentially.
I was like, Christopher Lloyd could come back.
He's in Spirit Halloween. Why not be in this too?
Yeah, but Martin Mull's still out there doing it, and who else am I thinking of that I haven't read off yet? And Michael McKean is still out there. I mean, he's still doing stuff. He's doing a lot of voiceover stuff for animated stuff. He's doing some other smaller roles for TV shows and movies. But you could get a few cool cameos in here. That would be fun. But that was an all-star team of amazing comedians from maybe one of the best eras of comedy ever. So I don't know if you try to go shot for shot with those guys, you're going to lose. So what I think is instead of just trying to draft in a bunch of like the hottest comedians of the time, you got to get people who just want to have fun with this movie and fuck around with it a little bit, because that takes the pressure off. And you'll get something a bit more pure, a bit more honest out of the whole thing. Because I think that's exactly what the original movie was. I don't think they made that original movie thinking it was going to be the next Dr. Zhivago anyway. They were just getting together to make this stupid movie based on a board game of all things. I mean, who the fuck does that? It's like,
but it's the premise of a whodunit that's like, oh, this could
work. But if they just have fun. If they just have fun with this thing and just dick around with it, just get goofy and have fun, I think this movie has a lot of promise, especially with Ryan Reynolds and his crew involved. Because let's face it, they're killing it right now. It's also not just that. What's he doing right now? I mean, he's got that Welcome to Wrexham thing that I'm kind of interested in. I'm just not a big soccer fan. Let's see. What's the other thing he's got going on?
Maybe Deadpool 3.
That's coming soon too. We've been hearing that he's balls deep on that.
It seems like every week they're announcing, oh, they're finally writing it. Oh, Disney's finally talking about it. It's like, I'm at this point, I'll believe it when I see a trailer, because they just keep talking about Deadpool 3. So not holding my breath.
It says here in the article that the Clue remake is just one of multiple upcoming projects from Reynolds he has in the works right now, including Deadpool 3 and an untitled project with John Krasinski, which put those two names together, and I'm like, interesting.
I'd be all right with John Krasinski in the Clue movie. He's a good actor. I like him.
They're both in Marvel. Interesting.
There you go. There's a connection.
Good. Yeah. Untitled project with Krasinski. Fantastic Four, perhaps. But I mean, because Ryan Reynolds did have that Instagram post that lit the fucking internet on fire for about a week when he was showing that he was working out with his trainer with the little Deadpool emoji. Well, actually, his trainer had posted on Instagram. I'm sorry, saying that something about getting back to work and had the Deadpool emoji. So, but I don't know. I don't know why it's wanting to spell check that, but okay. Not that I need to spell check anything at this point, but yeah, I'm interested. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Any other thoughts on this?
I'm excited for it. I'll go see it when it comes out.
It's got the potential to have a lot of fun. Damn it! Like it's
right.
Once we, like I say, we see more of the cast. I mean, like I said,
it'd be cool if they invent some new like weapons instead of a candlestick, maybe a selfie stick, or instead of the wrench, maybe like modern day stuff that people use that they wouldn't have had back then. That
I don't know. I'd still use a lead pipe to kill somebody if I didn't have anything
lights, those ring lights, a ring light instead of a wrench. I don't know.
What if they went completely kind of Evil Dead with it and made it a little more of a gory version, but still funny like Evil Dead 2 was, where it was a comedy,
like a twist
but you
of horror?
Right. Like, because
That's an idea.
Evil Dead 2 is basically a Three Stooges movie with 1,000 gallons of blood in it. Now, I'm not saying
I would
that
argue
much blood in the movie.
Army of Darkness was part of the
or even Army of Darkness. I mean, if you want to go with the Marvel thing, John Krasinski, Sam Raimi, they're all in Marvel. So hey, bring a little Sam Raimi into this thing. And if you want to do, just like you said a minute ago, you can't just do a shot for shot of the original. So give a little more of a hardcore version with that Ryan Reynolds R-rated comedy. That'd be a good mix. I mean,
make them all YouTubers who are all in a house in a vacation. They're all streaming from different rooms.
Vlogging from the fucking
they already did that on. They did that on American Horror Stories last season.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Go well.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
they did the whole like getting killed while they were vlogging thing in the.
Yeah.
Why did I almost say Happy Tree Friends? That's not it. Banana Splits. Where they were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the live stream and then he fucking gets killed like right on stream. It's like, oh shit.
Right.
Nice.
Happy Tree Friends is also not. That's another relic from my era of being, teenage formative years. That's a fun time. Don't look that up.
I don't know. I'm intrigued. That's all I'm going to say. I'm intrigued by all of this. And again, you know what I say about remakes. If they remake a movie and it sucks, we always have the original. If they remake it and it's awesome, I have two great movies to enjoy. And I'm never going to enjoy the original any less. I mean, that movie is from start to finish is just so damn good.
Oh, it's great.
Yes. But I mean, but who really can remake this and make it kind of goofy funny and not take it seriously the way Ryan Reynolds can do it? I mean, somebody give me a name. I mean, anybody? I mean,
there could be like
maybe
I don't know.
Tarantino could do something fun with
it.
What if they
brought back Chevy Chase? I mean, he'd be hilarious.
I mean,
who's the guy that did like Old School and 40-Year-Old Virgin and all those Seth Rogen movies?
Oh, it was
Judd Apatow.
Apatow.
Oh,
maybe he could do something with it.
Those kind of style of movies, yeah. Maybe.
I
don't know. But I think the comedy in this movie needs to be a little bit over the top, though. I think his stuff, he's best. Wait.
You know who could do it? Edgar Wright. He's got that same kind of feel.
Yeah,
you get the little horror, but you get that goofy shit like Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz.
That's
the gore.
That's not a bad. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Edgar Wright would have a fun fucking time with that.
I feel like Edgar Wright though just wouldn't go balls out the way that Ryan Reynolds would.
I don't know, man. You didn't. I saw church people go through someone's fucking dome. I was like, whoa.
I'm not saying it'd be a bad movie. I'm just saying it's. I don't. It's like I feel like Ryan Reynolds is. I don't know. I feel like maybe he's more suited. I'm not saying that Edgar Wright wouldn't make it awesome, but I feel just on the surface of it all right now, without any further information, I feel like Ryan Reynolds is where this has to be.
Oh yeah, like I trust in that. It'll be funny and it can be kind of gory in your face, but it's goofy.
I don't know. There's still plenty of news to come out about this. Hopefully it's going to come out, in my lifetime, because I feel like they've been talking about a sequel to this movie since like 1990. It's always like Clue sequel starring Tom Cruise and whoever from the 90s, and it just never comes around. And it's like whatever big star of 1994, then of 1997, then of 2000, then of 2005, and it's like, look, if you're gonna make this fucking movie, just make it. I mean, at this point, I don't even care if it sucks. I mean, stop talking shit and put something on celluloid, will you? Because I'm tired of getting my hopes up for what could potentially be a great sequel just to have them dashed by inaction. You know what I mean? But it's Hollywood. Hollywood is like Washington, D.C. It takes forever to get shit done sometimes. So, and hopefully you get good results. I don't know. Anymore, it's 50-50 in either one of those places. But anyway, go down in the comments below and let us know what you guys think about Ryan Reynolds being a part and pushing forward in a Clue remake. I think there's possibilities here. I think there's potential. We'll see. Lady Cora, what's the final story we're going into tonight?
Well, not surprising, but sorry to those who are looking forward to seeing Aquaman 2 next spring. While it was announced earlier this year, the sequel officially titled Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom would arrive on March 17th, 2023. That's no longer happening. We'll now have to have an extra 9-month wait for the upcoming DC movie's arrival, and that's just the tip of the proverbial iceberg, as there are a lot of other Warner Brother release shakeups that have been announced. per the last scheduling rearrangement at the studio, Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom has been moved to December 25th, 2023, meaning it would come out basically 5 full years after its predecessor. As a result, Shazam! Fury of the Gods will no longer come out December 16th, 2022, another date previously belonged to the Lost Kingdom, as it's been moved into the March 17th slot. Jeremy, what are your thoughts of the schedule changes for the DCEU?
Stop playing with me, goddammit.
I have 2 words. James Bond. You guys know how long I waited for that shit. This is still not that long.
Is that not what we just opened this show with how fucky DC is? Can we please stop pushing shit back? And my question then is, okay, why? What are... I don't know. I know. It's happened with video games. I'm like, okay, fine. I'd rather have a completed or a well done game rather than a rushed game. But I mean, I'm kind of like you said, 5 years in between the last 2 Aquaman movies. I'm like, sure, there was a pandemic. There's a bunch of shit going on. A lot of management shifts here. But I'm like, but what are we doing? That's pushing this back so far. I don't know. I hope it's worth the wait then. Like, gotta wait till fucking Christmas to see what the fuck Aquaman's doing.
Well, the last Aquaman came out at Christmas too, but that was a December release as well. But I think 2 things happen with what Warner Brothers is doing. One, every time you push a film back, a little more people lose interest in it, because it's in August, now it's October, now it's December, now it's next year, now it's the year after that. Every time you push back, it gets further and further in people's minds. And secondly, what this does, this kills so much credibility that Warner Brothers didn't already have for their superhero films, because not to even mention all the Batgirl stuff, but I mean, what's there to get excited about? Normally when they say, oh, Aquaman's coming out, they shoot the movie, they start making the toys, you see them in Walmart, you see the t-shirts, the kids buy all the stuff, you take the kids to the movie. They've interrupted the cycle of how this stuff is supposed to work so many times. I mean, and it doesn't help your Amber Heard situation. And I think a lot of this on the Aquaman side has to do with that, because you don't hear about Black Adam or Flash being pushed back. You hear about these 2. Now, one thing that this does, I haven't found a credible source on this, so that's why I didn't propose it to the group. But apparently, there's a lot of reports going out now that Warner Brothers only has money to put out 2 big movies a year. Now, if they put these off, it could have some credibility. Like I said, I didn't see a source that could, that I believed enough to stand on that. But if that's the case, this could be why. It's just a money decision. We don't know.
If we're set, I mean, I know if this is, I'm trying to trust in this. We're like trying to, like I said, we're trying to get our foot in this damn door here. If this is how we're setting the dominoes up, I'm like, okay, if this is worth, and then, waiting for that setup and we knock this all down right out of the park, fine. But I'm just saying, I same thing. I waited for this damn Lego Star Wars game that I've been streaming for the past fucking few months. They announced it in 2019. God damn it! It just now came out.
Hey, the Harry Potter game just got pushed back 4 months or 2 or 3 months.
Oh, the Hogwarts Legacy.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was supposed to be on December. Now it's in February.
Well, because I put it on my wish list, and the damn PlayStation app is blowing me up. Like, you have it in your wish list. You have it in your wish list. Pre-order. I think it's today. You can start pre-ordering. I was like, wait.
Guess what? Guess who's going to actually play through a whole game, a new whole game? I'm going to play that Harry Potter game from beginning to end.
It's worth it. I mean, it looks like it's going to be fire. I
might actually stream playing it. I don't know how to do any of that, but I might do it because I'm terrible at that shit. Probably worse than Gina. But
we're getting there. I mean, I don't know. But I think I took this part of this setup home after the stream Tuesday, and Rachel set up that whole damn thing for herself in just a day. Like, she got screens up. She got all the other.
Yeah,
like She got everything set up for herself like within a day.
I just have to do it for Xbox because I have an Xbox. I'm not buying a PS5 that I can't get.
Right.
It's still difficult, but it's a little easier.
We have a new Xbox, so yeah.
I was there's an app that that's how I got mine. That alerts you.
But anyway, sorry for the sidetrack. I just decided yesterday I'm gonna play that game all the way through because I love Harry Potter.
Hey, I'm gonna play through Last of Us again for like the 10 millionth fucking time because I love that game. I'm sorry. Don't get tired of it. It's a great story.
Do you guys remember several months ago when I said that there were 2 movies that were scheduled to come out at the same time, and I was sure one of them was going to move?
You were right, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what this movie is supposed to be opening up against? Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
What Aquaman was supposed to be opening up against?
No.
What it was supposed to be?
Avatar 2.
James
and I said one of these movies is moving, and it's not going to be Avatar. It's not going to be Avatar.
Hey, maybe by that time next year he'll still be opening up against it because that fucker will keep it in theaters for like the next 10 years.
Maybe.
Right.
Whatever.
Didn't they just re-release Avatar 1 on theaters?
They're going to.
Probably.
They actually pulled it down off Disney Plus because they're trying to push people to go see it in theaters and try to kick up.
That's what I thought. I thought I saw that.
I think when you re-release a movie 35 years after it comes out, it shouldn't count with your original box office run. But whatever, I just don't care at this point anymore. But
he's trying to go back to the top film of all time or whatever.
He already has it. They re-released Avatar after Avengers Endgame took the top spot, and they took it back. I think it's all stupid. But anyway, that's the other argument for the other day.
I mean, you've made like, 3 movies in your whole fucking life, Cameron? Fuck off.
Pretty much. But,
yeah. Terminator, Avatar, and Titanic. Come on.
Well, he did, was it fucking Ed Harris? What's it called? I'm going to draw a blank.
Ed Harris. Oh.
I know who Ed Harris is.
Yeah, the underwater thing. But anyway.
All right, well.
Hunt for Red October?
The Abyss. The Abyss.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I as soon as I saw that these 2 movies were opening the same weekend, I said, one of these movies is going to move, and it's not going to be James Cameron's.
No.
So I had a feeling this movie was going to move months ago. But there's a lot more to this that you have to take into account. Number one is DC, and we talked about it before, they're relying heavily on the performance of The Flash. But they do want to put a little separation between The Flash and the other movies that they have coming next, because, look, we all know what's going to happen after The Flash comes out. The Flash is going to come out. It's going to make whatever money it makes the first month or so, and then they're going to finally come out in front of a camera and reporters and say, okay, this is the news you've all been waiting for. Ezra Miller's out. We're cutting ties with him. He's done. Whatever. And so they want to put some distance between that announcement and their next big DC film, which would be, at that point, I think, Shazam.
Black Adam.
I think that's what it'll be. Black Adam. No, Black Adam hasn't moved. Black Adam hasn't moved.
Right.
And what's the other big movie they had coming out? I forget. That hasn't moved. But it also has affected a couple of non-DCEU films. The sequel, The Nun 2 and Salem's Lot, have also been affected by this move. The Nun has been moved all the way back to September 8th of next year, so we're going to wait until this time next year to see it. While Salem's Lot, the newest incarnation of a Stephen King film, has been taken off the schedule completely. But that movie is but that movie's deep into post-production. So what they're saying is that they've taken it off the release schedule, but they're going to put it back on. They said that they've not killed that movie. They've just taken off the schedule to try to figure out where else to put it. That movie is going to come out. There's a lot of the article that I read seems to think that it's going to come out sometime late 2023. So it'll come out in time, sometime in the fall of next year. But they've also added an untitled event film to the February 10th, 2023 release slot. That I find kind of interesting. I don't know what it could possibly be. I don't even know what they have. I mean, Blue Beetle's filming right now, but I don't think they're going to move that up to...
That's not an event movie, though. Blue Beetle's he's a superhero that you have to be deep into the DC comics to even know who he is. He's not a Batman or a Superman or a whatever.
Yeah, but he's still plenty popular. I mean, Blue Beetle's had cartoons and stuff. He's actually got a really popular comic book run that's been going for a long time.
He was a decent character.
He's not Batman or Superman, of course, but I mean, he's still
he was on a cartoon. He got big on Batman, the Brave and the Bold, and then Young Justice. He was big on those shows, but he's never stood on his own. I mean, the Jaime Reyes character, it's pretty much you're starting with a fresh audience besides the hardcore comic people. So I don't know if that could. I would put that on the level of a Batgirl, honestly. I mean, I don't know. That's just me, though.
Well, that and everything that I've heard says that they actually like what they've seen from Blue Beetle, even though it's in filming and they don't really have a lot of shots complete yet. That the higher ups at Warner Brothers actually like the way Blue Beetle looks. They like that. They like what they've seen so much so that instead of putting it on HBO Max like they were originally going to, they promoted that shit in the big league. It's going theatrical. Yeah. So they think that movie is going to make them money and that it's a pretty high quality product. So that's a huge vote of confidence for that movie. I mean, especially when you consider that Zaslav is pretty much just chopping everything off. It's like he's looking at that and like, oh, wait a minute, that's pretty good. Oh, okay, we're gonna go ahead and put that in theaters to make us some money. And it's got that good young actor from I can never pronounce his damn name, but the kid from Cobra Kai who plays Miguel. I mean, he's in it. So and so he's pretty popular. His star's on the rise, and this movie is not going to hurt him at all. So they probably like him. They like what they've got going on. So they've promoted that to the big leagues.
Right. I hope they have a Ted Cord reference, or maybe even the character in the film, the original Blue Beetle from DC Comics. That was always my favorite version of it. It'd be really cool to see him in there. I haven't heard if he's in it or not, but that'd be a fun surprise.
Yeah, but I'm not at all surprised by these moves. I mean, like I said, there is going to be fallout from, even if the Flash is like the next great cinematic masterpiece, there's still Ezra Miller fallout you're gonna have to deal with. So putting some distance between your other movies and this makes sense. Again, we don't quite know how this is going to affect the larger MCU, the events of the movie. They said it's significant, which is one of the reasons why they don't want to just shit can this the way they did Batgirl. So there's going to be creative stuff that we're going to creative fallout for the characters in the universe. I don't know. It kind of makes sense to me. Now, I'm sure money's probably part of it, but maybe they're going to sit up because they know Black Adam's going to do money. I mean, it's The Rock. The Rock always makes money. And the movie looks pretty good. The trailers have looked good. I haven't heard anything about any screenings, which is kind of weird, but I mean, no news is good news sometimes. And then, what's the other thing that they're putting out? I forget. It's not a DC film. It's some other Warner Brothers film, which I think is going to do good. But the one that Olivia Wilde did. I forget the name of it. The one that she was promoting at CinemaCon, she got served with the fucking custody papers by Jason Sudeikis. That movie.
Olivia Wilde?
Yes. Don't Worry, Darling. Is that the name of the movie?
Yes, with Harry Styles.
Yes,
that she directed. I cannot wait to see that movie. By the way, I'm very mad it's not based on a book that I could have read before it comes out.
I actually saw the trailer for that today and it looked really, really
very
good.
mad. I spent 3 hours like, is this based on a book? Is this based on a book? I gotta find this. Doesn't exist.
Yeah, I saw the trailer today and actually it's really, really interesting.
How dare they not base it off?
Same thing with Jupiter Ascending, by the way. Great movie.
You were the only person I've ever heard that like that movie.
What?
Seriously?
I saw the trailer and it looked like something off of the Sci-Fi Channel. I was like, yeah, I'm watching that.
It is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's some stuff here, but I mean, it's not a big deal. Like I said, they were moving Aquaman anyway. There was no way they wanted to go head to head with Avatar 2. I don't think Avatar 2 is going to pull in the box office the first one did, but I mean, I wouldn't want to put up against it. And there's precedence for this. Remember, what was the last Robert Langdon movie that came out with Tom Hanks? Inferno. They pushed that movie back an entire year because it was going to open up against one of the Star Wars movies. And Ron Howard was like, I don't really want to throw hands with George Lucas, so at the box office. So we're gonna go ahead and just push our movie back an entire year. A lot of people thought that kind of hurt that movie's box office. I personally don't think it mattered. I don't think it was the best of the Robert Langdon films. I liked it a lot. I think the book was a lot better. The ending of the book was really what was a lot better than the movie. But I mean, I don't know. There's stuff here, but I'm not in panic mode about it. And if what Tex says is right about them not wanting to spend money on marketing until next fiscal year, that kind of makes sense because you're gonna get the huge box office from Black Adam, and this Don't Worry, Darling, or whatever the name of the movie is.
That's what it's called.
It looks really, really good. So I have a feeling that's going to draw some box office.
Hunger Games, sort of mixed with like Stepford Wives.
Yeah, I have a feeling that movie's going to make a little bit of bank. It's going to make. I'm seeing that
opening day. Anybody else wants to see it, I will review it with you.
It looks good. I might have to go watch it, but yeah, I mean, if that's really what it's
die
about,
in the film, if so, I'll see.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe, I don't know. It was definitely a thriller kind of a movie. There I don't know if there'll be a whole lot of blood, but there might be some people dying. But yeah, I mean, if all they're trying to do is pocket some money so that they can really go balls out and market The Flash and market, the other movies they're going to have come out next year, I don't know. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with waiting for an extra, 9 months? They pushed it back. I'm okay waiting an extra 9 months.
I got to be honest.
I'm not going to watch it because Amber Heard's in it. I just refuse.
As much of a DC fan as I am, whether it's Shazam or Aquaman, I'm not rushing to the theater to see either of them. I mean, it's I mean, the only thing I care to see out of Aquaman is the Ben Affleck Batman scene. Whatever that ends up being, that's my only interest. And Shazam is, I'd rather get a Man of Steel too, but I know that's not going to happen. So
I think
I don't really care.
Don't give up on that. I've heard a lot of things.
Oh, I've been hearing crap for years. Man of Steel 2 is happening. I'll believe it when I see a trailer. That's what I'll.
Fair enough.
I have a feeling that Henry Cavill might be popping into Shazam at some point. Maybe not the main body of the film, but
there were leaks that Superman shows up, but they do a Shazam thing where you just see a costume. We'll see what happens.
The first movie.
I don't know.
That's what they did the first movie.
Well, yeah.
No,
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
The rumor that was going around Comic-Con a couple of months ago was that Henry Cavill was supposed to show up and announce that he was going to be either in Shazam or have some kind of an appearance in Black Adam, I forget, and that Henry Cavill got COVID, and that's why he didn't show up, so they put it on the back burner. Now, I think what they might be doing is they're waiting until another, week and a half, 2 weeks, until D23 pops. And they're going to try to take some. And they're going to take some of Disney's thunder by walking him out in front of a bank of cameras and with him and Dwayne Johnson and maybe even Levy. Sean Levy, is that the guy that plays Shazam? They're going to go out. They're going to walk out in front of a bank of cameras, arm.
I thought it was Zachary Levi.
Zach Levi. That's it. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. But they're going to walk out in front of a bank of cameras and be like, "Guess who's coming back to DC, bitches?" And they're going to have Henry Cavill there, with his very muscular Superman glory. And they're going to try to poke Disney in the eye. Now, will it change the way all the D23 announcements drop? The way it hits us? No. But man, it's going to be a bold move, and it's going to make me smile. I'm going to like those. Dude, that's balls. And I think that's the kind of thing Zaslav would do. I mean, Jesus Christ, look what he's done so far. It's like he doesn't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. You really think he's not going to look at? Fucking what's his name? Bob Chapek at Disney and Kevin Feige and be like, "Oh yeah, motherfuckers, yeah, check this out. Here's my little announcement."
The only move that Zaslav has made that I've hated is the putting off Salem's Lot, because I was really looking forward to that. That was one of the first. Anyway. That was one of the first scary anything I ever saw. I watched it with my grandmother. I still love the original miniseries, so I'm really looking forward to that one. And I love me some Stephen King, but besides that, I'm a fan of Zaslav. He's cutting the crap out, and I mean, we'll see what happens. But so far, I'm a fan of him.
In 5 years, all the people that are bitching about him killing Batgirl, which is the only thing anybody's bitching about. I mean, it's like nobody noticed anything he did except for when he killed Batgirl, and he even said why he did it. Nobody cares. They're just being assholes about it. But in 5 years, when DC's in really good standing, well, maybe 10, when DC's in really, really good standing, we've got 3 or 4 movies that were just banging, coming out one after another, and they've reestablished the DCEU, and we're starting to get word, maybe even trailers or some set photos of the next big Justice League mashup. All those assholes are going to be like, "Oh yeah, I knew Zaslav was going to do it all along." Well, it's like, no, you didn't, you motherfuckers. You were the one shit.
That's what's so funny. I don't know if y'all have paid any attention to this, but I've been kind of following it. And the majority of people that are complaining about Batgirl going away, it's because of Batgirl, not Michael Keaton Batman. They're not saying, "Oh, I needed more Keaton Batman. I wanted to see more." They're just virtue signaling their butt off. Oh, well, it's either you did it because
it's a girl that's not white that's the
well,
lead.
Yeah, well,
that she's being discriminated against. It's her movie they got rid of.
Half the people are saying, "Oh, it's because she's a Mexican Batgirl. You're just racist," and Twitter's doing what Twitter does. Right?
That's why I think that's the reason they're talking about Batgirl.
Right. Oh, that's what I'm saying. It's a complete virtue signal. You've got Michael Keaton Batman, arguably the best Batman, not my favorite, but arguably the best. And people aren't complaining that his scenes are gone. You're virtue signaling because, it's an easy target. That's the saddest part about all this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's all stupid.
But if the movie sucks, the movie sucks.
There you go.
Like everybody says the movie sucks. So who cares? But I do feel bad for the directors, though. They got word that Zaslav was killing the movie while they were at one of their weddings.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like, that hurts.
Action Zaslav does not discriminate.
It's funny.
That's brutal. It's like, dude, Zaslav couldn't have waited 24
hours.
hours.
It would make your wedding unforgettable.
Couldn't have waited 24 hours.
Hey,
Zaslav.
they always say bad luck is a good thing at your wedding, so maybe that's good. Maybe. That could be a good thing.
$90 million stroke of bad luck. Ooh, that hurts.
Yeah, well.
Actually, you know what? It didn't hurt them because
better.
the crew and the actors and the cast and everybody, they all got paid.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
I mean, yeah. So it's not like these
money.
guys didn't get their money. They're just not putting your shit out there. So I mean, whatever. I mean, yeah,
it'll be leaked out.
Yeah, your creativity is going to be a little diminished, but I mean, they're going to get on their job. Besides, these guys have been made bigger names now because the movie got shit canned.
Yeah,
Then they probably would have been if that
movie that never was.
Yeah,
exactly. Like I said, it'll be a Superman Lives, or it'll be a Roger Corman's Fantastic Four. That'll be talked about for forever at Comic Cons, and documentaries will be made about it. I think it'll eventually be leaked out. There's no way that it doesn't. Whether it's somebody from internal at Warner Brothers or, God knows whatever. It'll happen eventually.
I think
it's not going to stay dormant.
I think they're probably going to leak some pictures about. They're probably going to leak some pictures of Batman, but I don't think there'll be anything of her.
Oh yeah.
I think they're going to want to send those out, but.
Oh yeah. It'll happen. I mean, how do you have Michael Keaton Batman scenes and they don't accidentally get out? Because you could still technically do your tax dump on your film and, somebody hacked into the cloud and stole this and they only got Michael Keaton Batman scenes. Because that's all anybody really wants,
Yeah.
It's possible. Right.
I agree. But anyway, any final thoughts on this before we start to wrap things up?
No.
Restore the Snyderverse. I'm still holding on to that.
No, Snyderverse needs to go away. Jeremy? It's too tainted at this point.
Again, if we're setting the dominoes up the right way, it's going to be real satisfying to see them fall.
Oh yeah,
in a good
That's
way.
going to be the whole point. Like I said, 10 years from now,
I'm holding out. You gotta start. You gotta do this right. Damn it.
Right.
Yeah, I think this is all going to work out for the best. And all those people that are shitting on Zaslav right now, 10 years from now, they're going to be the ones that are like, "Oh, Zaslav did such a great job." Be like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, but
you whiny
you
ass.
Forget how he had
up.
to do it, right? Like Jesus.
Right.
He had to take a couple of you up behind the bar and execute you right in the back of the fucking skull. Don't demonetize us, YouTube, for saying that. But I'm just
figuratively,
yes,
right, Jeremy?
As all the hashtags on TikTok now. It's all fake. It's fake blood. It's not real. It's all fake shit. Whatever. You just don't want to get your shit taken down, which I get it. I would do it ironically because that is a joke just waiting to be plucked. Everything in this video is fake, and I could go out and actually shoot somebody and be like, "Yep, but it was fake." Whatever.
That's funny.
That seems like
for legal reasons. I don't do that, and nor would I ever do that. Don't put me on a list. Sorry.
He only kills people for pretend during October at the haunted house. It's not real.
True. We didn't really put him up on that pentagram.
If it's not caught on a body cam, it didn't happen, right?
That's a hell of a legal defense on the stand.
But that seems like a good place.
We
that seems
blame
like a good place to start wrapping things
answer.
Up. Let's wrap it up.
Casey.
Let's wrap it up. We can blame Casey when we're done. So a whole other live stream I have to do with Connor later.
Oh shit! I forgot.
But that's a good place to wrap things up. I do want to thank my amazing co-host for coming on and kicking it with me tonight, starting with the Dowager Countess, Lady Cora. Where can the folks find you on the internet?
Here and nowhere else. I'm a ghost.
Where else do you need to be, after all?
Exactly.
There you go.
And to our good friend, the Shape from the Lone Star State, my man Tex. Where can the folks find you?
At Slasher Vision, it's on the screen. Follow me on Twitter. I post scary memes and funny shit. And occasionally, who knows? I tend to drink and I might go on a ramble one of these days.
He does Bachelor review shows.
Yeah. Yes, I do Bachelor reviews. I get with Cora and we dish and I drink wine. We do the whole thing. It's tremendous.
Fantastic content.
Make sure to follow me for all that. I'm over on Derailed with Frank, so that's about it.
And my hetero life mate Jeremy, what kind of gaming do you got going on this coming week or so?
Yeah. Well, Tuesdays on Twitch. This upcoming Tuesday is going to be the final stream for Lego Star Wars. We're at the end here.
Nice.
I'm talking to wow, 2 of them left. Oh, fuck all you. The 10 people that are still here that I know are not going to watch it because I'm calling you the fuck out. Every week I will call you out when I sit there and see one damn viewer on my shit. Anyway.
Sorry, something was in my throat.
Harsh.
Well, hey. Like one of my other favorite streamers, Alex Zedra said, I don't think I trust anybody who is a streamer that isn't a little bit toxic. So you heard it from Mara from Call of Duty yourself, whatever. Yeah, that's it for that. That'll be it for Lego Star Wars. I'm doing shit behind the scenes so that we can, we're gonna end it with episode 5 because why not? That's the best movie of Star Wars. End it with the I'm your father line.
Nice.
September, like I mentioned, the very beginning of September, The Last of Us Part 1 comes out, and then I'll start doing that. I might actually do that on YouTube. I might record those or something. Because now here's where everyone's going to go and already flock to, so I'm going to write off of her fame. We can now annoy you 3 days a week because Rachel's going to start streaming on Wednesdays.
I was about to say, don't forget to plug Rachel.
I'm not going to might get demonetized if I repeat that. Yeah, she's doing that on Wednesdays. Unfortunately, we actually she won't be on next Wednesday because we do have other obligations to do. But yeah, so she's doing Wednesdays. She's doing her own thing now. Like I said, we're gonna kind of not necessarily split ways, but start doing our own streams. She started Saints Row, which it looks pretty crisp. It looks like a lot of fun, and it's GTA's drunk cousin. So if that doesn't explain it. Yeah, then I'm yes, thank you. There she is down there. I know I've been sitting here streaming on and off for a few years, but I know I've been streaming constantly for the past 5 months, 6 months, whatever, and I know in a month's time, boom, she's gonna be getting money. So whatever, I'll just write off of her fame since I know how this works. I know how the internet works. Yeah, then I know it's gonna be funny. I had a friend.
Don't get him started on girls getting more attention.
I had a friend start streaming, and in a month she was getting money already. I was she was all worried about it. I was like, dude,
and everybody sends her free equipment, and everybody watches.
Still have her PC build done, and I'll still be sitting there fucking with 2 people, and I'm like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. Anyway, and I'm here Thursday. Like I said, we can annoy you 3 days a week. I'll be here whenever.
We love your content. There's no annoying.
Not really. Well, not really, because name 3 people that watch. I'll wait. I'm also still doing stuff with the Brooding Gamer. Hey, if you want to fucking follow, I don't care. Follow. Like I said, we're gonna do Last of Us. We're gonna do spooky shit during Halloween. I'm gonna play Outlast. Finally.
I watched your show one time for 20 minutes, so I get credit for that.
Okay, fine. You get a gold star on your.
He's got the gold star right above his head too.
There you go. You get a big gold star. Yeah, after spooky season and Outlast, which is gonna be a busy goddamn season. Then Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 comes out. What, spooky season? I'm always excited for that.
Awesome.
That's what those obligations are on Wednesday. I'm like, I have some things to do for that, kind of.
Yep.
So yeah, Twitch, Twitter, I'm here. Did all 13 of you catch that?
Yes.
I'll be watching. If I fucking so much as see you on her stream and just do he isn't a pretty girl with tits, so he's not gonna get watched. That's not a threat for legal reasons. Attorney law.
I do think it's funny that when Jeremy started bitching about the people who had left the stream, all 10 of you
just go get you some tips and
a couple of viewers.
Might do it.
I think he's scared of coming back on.
Yeah. No, I've thought about just completely trolling people, and I'm like, you want to get mad because when I pulled the wig off and pulled the tits out, and I'm like, gotcha, didn't I? I still win. I'm still right. Even if I lose all my followers for catfishing your asses, I still proved a point.
There's no words. This is what makes Jeremy wonderful. This is it right here.
I should
Wonderful Jeremy.
Start coming here as the character of Grimm because I'm like, yeah, this is what it is. I'm just a little bit more of an asshole and a lot more cynical. That's where it's at.
We'll have to film a skit.
I'll do it. Like I said, I'm doing stuff with Brooding Gamer. I was like, I'll plug my character in there, and then there starts off his little. We got our own extended universe.
Hey, have you followed all the stuff Brooding Gamer is about to be doing with this Jurassic Park thing? He's got some cool shit coming up.
Well, yeah, we're in. He's getting some people together. Even Frank, we even talked to him, put him in this this big project he's got going, and he actually messaged me today. There's something else he's going to do with some Pokemon. So if I didn't just blow that out of the water, sorry, without him announcing it formally.
Well,
but there it
I'm
is.
the one who brought up his Pokemon pop figure he bought and put on Twitter today. So I broke that first. So,
but he's got some stuff coming too. So check him out. Yep. Okay.
As long as it's not a Pokemon porno parody, you'll be fine.
No, I don't think we're going. I don't think we're going
Don't
there.
do that.
No, we're not filming that for the first of the year. That's still in pre-production.
Pre-production.
Yeah, we're calling in Maximum Effort Productions, Ryan Reynolds, to do a rewrite on that one. As for me, you can find me here every Thursday with my crew of misfits talking about all the stuff going on in and around the world of entertainment and television. You can also find me on Sundays at 9 o'clock on Derailed, talking about all the other crap that's going on in the world. And we will see you guys. Actually, I'll be seeing you guys here in again about a half an hour. While I will be kicking it with Connor from the Horny Goat, where we break down episodes 1 and 2 of She-Hulk.
Yo.
And as far as
I'm glad I wasted my time watching the episode today.
You didn't waste your time. I thought it was a very good episode.
It was better.
It was better.
Yes.
You guys are going to hear me talk more about it here in about a half hour with Connor from Horny Goat. Don't forget to go down and check out all the links to all the great creators that are in the description down below. A lot of really great movie YouTubers, a lot of really cool channels that don't get the love that some of them deserve. Go check them out as well. And thanks to all of you, yes, including Grim Tuesday. Now I have to put Rachel's link to her Twitch down there too. So
yes,
you'll be able to find her stuff down in there pretty soon as well. But definitely go check out them as well. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for coming and kicking it with us. Adios.
Toodles.
See ya.
Adios.